Pimville. My mom had a friend who lived there, and I remember one particular December holiday we spent at her house, and she was a very musical lady. She even had an organ at her house, but she collected these Dolly Parton LPs, and she would play them, and the speaker would be on the stoop, and we'd be cooking and baking, and they'd be playing of cards, and there'd be conversations, and she'd be telling us about her life story. And of course, she had kids similar to our age growing up, and so that's where it took me. And she's, of course, no longer around as well, so that makes it doubly poignant for me to listen to Dolly Parton songs, because as I played them, I just remembered who she was and what that meant for Andlungi. So that's where it took me, and that's why there was a tear or two in my eye. Muteo, good morning.
Morning, Bongs. The favorite thing I like about listening to music like that is that I knew every time we played records like that in the home, the older people in the house would go back to their younger years, and you get to hear all these stories, everything they experienced, and it just gave you a different perspective on their lives.
There's two things you can do to get to know people who are older. Open up the family album, their family album, or their long tossed away album somewhere in a kist, at the bottom of a kist somewhere. Open that, go through their old photographs, go through the start of their career, go through when they went to college if they did, what they wore, the bell bottoms, the high platform shoes, what were the 60s like for them? Did they have an afro? You hear those stories, and you've got to play the music in the background. So that's what Dolly Parton meant to me. If you've just joined us, of course, sad news emerging yesterday at the age of 80. The country singer-songwriter Dolly Parton is no longer with us.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, as we get into the show, as always, we've got a shout out for you, and that's something to illustrate something in the news that we think you should know about. And today is a very simple one. As the young kids, an expression that's much more about urban culture and urban speak, I would say. Who lives rent-free in your head? Is there a person or a moment? This is something you just constantly think about or talk about. Or do you know someone that you just think, oh my gosh, that person lives rent-free in so-and-so's head? For example, we know Barack Obama lives rent-free in Donald Trump's head, because he's always referencing him. Barack Hussein Obama, right? It isn't always somebody you necessarily like, but it's somebody whose behavior, whose speech, whose attitudes, you can't believe they went and did this again. They went and did that again. Helen Ziller lives rent-free in many people's heads. Certainly, I think she lives rent-free in Dada Morero and Loyiso Masuku's heads, right? Every time she goes, kayaking in a pothole or something of that sort, right? Julius Malema lives rent-free in many, many people's heads. Do you see where I'm going with this? Who lives, and it could be a boss, right? It could be a former boss. It could be a former lover, the one who swindled you, the one who stole your money, the one who took your credit cards and spent them, thinking you'd never find out, right? It could be the one who cheated on you. Who lives rent-free in your head? Every time there's a rate announcement, the governor of the Reserve Bank certainly lives rent-free in Muteo's head.
I'll tell you who lives there rent-free for me. 2018, Malusi Kigaba was the finance minister then. We're covering the budget, and he quoted the urban poet Kendrick Lamar saying, "We're going to be all right. We've never been all right ever since." Every time I feel the economy pinch me, I'm like, man, we're still not all right.
You mentioned Malusi Kigaba. I think he lives rent-free in
Not
many people's
that
heads
controversial
for an
video.
entirely different reason. Amu?
You mentioned a former US President, Barack Obama. So it's both Michelle and Barack for me. The couple lives rent-free. Currently, because I have different times where different people live rent-free in my mind, but currently is Michelle and Barack, particularly because I'm reading Michelle's The Light You Carry, or We Carry. Yeah, and so I'm reminded of certain moments when they were in the White House, when they would have children visiting the White House, and just her warmth as a person, and how, she captured not just the nation, but I guess the whole world in what motherhood is, what womanhood is, and many, many things.
Can I be spicy? I think a lot of foreign nationals live rent-free in Jacinta Ngobese Zuma's head.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Mateo, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want you and the 702 listeners to answer this one. Do you meet people at their energy? So if somebody is kind to you, do you return that tenfold? And if they are mean, do you give them their own medicine?
I tend to move away from people who are mean because I worry I might meet them with their energy, and that won't be a good ending for either of us. So, but if you're kind, I really do respond to that. That's probably the biggest thing. If you want to reel me in some way,
Yeah.
kindness is one of the best ways you can do it. But I tend to walk away from meanness because it wouldn't be a good ending.
Amu, do you give back as much as you get?
No, I don't allow people to change my mood. So if I bump into you and you are, going through whatever you're going through, I don't allow that to become how I, give you.
Yeah.
No.
You guys are so kind.
I'm kind. I'm
You
warm.
clearly-
I'm warm.
You clearly give as good as you get.
Some people deserve it. Yes.
702.
Weather.
Well, we'll tell you what, we'll give you good weather, Mateo. Today, fine day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures peaking at 27 in Johannesburg and Pretoria. A little colder for Eniging, 26 degrees. That's the same high for Cape Town. 29 for Mahikeng, 20 for Gqeberha and East London, 22 for Durban.
EWN Traffic.
22 after 6. Amot, let's look at the maps.
Well, Bongani, we've got an accident in Bedford View on the N12 West. It happened right near the Giluli's interchange. Delays from the Edenville Road exit. There's also queuing traffic on the Markwa North between Boysons and Carr Street. While traveling in the city of Tshwane, please be on the lookout for roadworks that are taking place along the N1 South coming out of Sefako exit, already causing some issues there. There's also queuing traffic in Mountain View on the R80 approaching Eskom Patlele Drive. Peak time delays there as well. We'll have more traffic updates for you, but if you see anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Cloud adoption is no longer the differentiator. Business value is. Today's leading organizations need more than technology platforms. They need better visibility, faster decision-making, and the agility to respond to change. BCX connects cloud, cybersecurity, managed services, AI, and trusted telecom business connectivity into one intelligent ecosystem that helps organizations improve operational performance, strengthen resilience, and create measurable business outcomes. BCX, Connected Multi-Cloud, Intelligent Business. BCX enables businesses. Visit bcx.co.za.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Play Powerball, Lotto, Daily Lotto, Match Play, and Instant Games. It's your chance to win big. Available at participating retailers, online, and on your banking app. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
Uncertainty is rising, but your business still has to deliver. Production targets need to be met. And when your workforce is out of balance, the cost is immediate. Too many employees? Costs climb. Too few? Productivity drops. Workforce staffing helps businesses stay in control with flexible workforce solutions deployed within 48 hours nationwide. When demand changes, your workforce can change with it. Visit workforcestaffing.co.za. Stay productive, stay flexible, stay in control.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Chatting personal finance with Warren Ingram. This week almost marks 2 years of the two-part retirement system.
And what we're seeing from the stats that are being published by retirement fund administrators is that about 2/3 of the people that withdrew in the first year have drawn again in the second year and are about to go into their third year. So what we're seeing is that actually very few people are new withdrawers.
The Money Show.
On 702.
702.
Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show is brought to you by ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking. Across West Africa, Genza Energy is strengthening reliable energy supply with more than 334 megawatts of installed generation capacity, while building the infrastructure needed for future growth. Through a EU 456 million rand financing facility, ABSA CIB is proud to support Genza's progress. That's how we're invested in your story. ABSA is a registered FSP.
702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Yeah. yesterday. Ah, Bungles, Bungles, my mom's favorite artist. I promise you, I was forced to love this artist from a very young age. You know, when you know the lyrics, but you didn't know or understand what they meant at the time until you grow up and life shows you flames and then you get to actually understand the meaning of the words. My goodness, may his soul rest in peace, man. Dolly Parton, our favorite lovely lady, great, great singer. My goodness, rest in peace, the queen of beautiful music. Thanks for a great show, guys. Shadi, Kempton Park.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right, the countdown is on for political parties and independent candidates. There will be no room for last-minute moves. The Electoral Commission of South Africa has issued a final reminder: all candidate nominations must be submitted and completed by this Friday at 5 o'clock. You did everything right. Lobola was paid, the families met, vows were exchanged under customary law. But when it comes to the paperwork, there's one crucial step that cannot be overlooked: registration. For couples married under customary law, the clock is ticking. If your marriage has never been officially registered, you will have until the 31st of August to get it done. How good are you at apologizing? ANC veteran politician Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is stepping back from her claim that Minister Ronald Lamola was part of vote buying in the ANC's conference in 2017. The controversy erupted after Dlamini Zuma appeared on the African Renaissance podcast hosted by Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. In the interview, she referred to a voice note that was allegedly circulating, which she claimed was Lamola. He denied it, and she's now withdrawn her claim. Macaulay Culkin and Kiki, as we know her, Lauren Kiana Palmer, two actors quite different, but literally grew up in front of our eyes. You'll remember Culkin, of course, from the Home Alone franchise, while Palmer captured our hearts in the spelling bee competition Aquila and the Bee. What do they have in common? They were both born on this day. Macaulay Culkin celebrates his 46th birthday. Kiki Palmer turns 33 today. And as we played a little earlier on, tributes are pouring in for the fantastic singer-songwriter Dolly Parton. Everyone from Beyonce to Oprah Winfrey to Paul McCartney to Elton John, even the former US President Barack Obama. She sold more than 100 million records worldwide, wrote over 3,000 songs.
702.
The newspapers.
Swisa Zulu,
Bongani,
what's
good
in the
morning.
papers? Good morning.
I don't know if you can remember the Australian breakdancer who was mocked at the Paris Olympics, right?
Well, I don't know if you can call her a breakdancer, but she was something.
Yeah, that was for her unconventional routine. Well, she's now telling her side of the story 2 years on and with a lot of therapy behind her. Rachel Gunn is her name. She went viral for her breakdancing routine at the Games. She lost all 3 rounds and was flooded with a lot of online mockery, even sparking false conspiracy claiming that she cheated to qualify. So she's now a subject of a new Netflix documentary that's out in September, where she opens up about panic attacks before competing and the toll the backlash has taken on her mental health. And she says that she has no regrets and believes female athletes face extra scrutiny online than male athletes.
Is it called Attention Seeker? Because wow.
You should break down.
So Sowetan. I can't do better than that. Front page of the Sowetan Cats Web unravels. This is Vusumuzi Matlala. And the front page of the Business Day has Brazilia's President Lula da Silva attending a Soldiers' Day memory in Brasilia yesterday.
EWN
Business news now, Muteo. You want to know, do we meet people with the same energy they come? If someone is kind, are you kind? If they're mean, do you give them a taste of their own medicine? What prompts the question?
Bongani, Canada has announced tit-for-tat tariffs against the United States, matching dollar for dollar. the 50% duties that President Donald Trump imposed over the weekend after a breakdown in trade talks. Ottawa's new tariffs encompass more than 700 US goods that are worth about $20 billion or 318 billion rand, mirroring the size of Trump's latest import taxes on Canadian wine, cement, things like hockey sticks and other products. The counter tariffs range from 15 to 50% and target a wide array of Canadian imports from the US, including dairy, seafood, appliances, wood and paper products and clothes. Among the most significant are 50% tariffs on American steel and aluminium, doubling the current rate. The duties on metals and wood were chosen to respond to previously imposed US tariffs on steel, aluminium, lumber and other products. The new tariffs are set to take effect on the 8th of September. Canada has also unveiled an additional $7.5 billion package to support its own businesses and workers being harmed by US tariffs. The new duties would have been averted if the two sides struck a deal before it took effect on Saturday. Now, although Trump had claimed earlier last week that the deal was all but complete, Canada suspended negotiations, contending that the US made unreasonable demands and last-minute changes. Canadian Finance Minister François Philippe says when the United States of America asked too much and offered too little, the executive made a decision choosing Canada.
All right, let's go straight to your indicators.
Yeah, the rand at 15 rand 93 against the US dollar in a very, very strong position this morning. 18 rand 58 cents against the euro, 21 rand 72 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,643 an ounce, or platinum is up 0.5% at $1,877. Brent crude at $86.38 a barrel. More business after 7.
To the news desk we go. In this next half an hour, we look at the unfreezing of research funding into HIV and TB led from South Africa. You've got news about the president, Sfiso Zulu.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. President Cyril Ramaphosa supports the appropriation of funds to go towards the permanent closure of abandoned mines that have taken over by illegal miners. Ramaphosa also says through Operation Prosper, they've managed to disrupt illicit mining in many provinces, with more than 1,000 Zamazamas arrested, with several firearms seized from gangs. Ramaphosa was giving an update on the operation and the fight against illegal mining while responding to questions from MPs in the National Assembly yesterday. Babalondenza reports.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says arresting illegal miners is not the only measure of success when it comes to dealing with illegal mining. He says illegal mining must be tackled from different angles because it also affects communities living around the mining sites that have become havens for criminality. Ramaphosa added that where abandoned mines can be shut down, government and the former owners must work together. He says National Treasury can also put aside money to fund such a program.
It is a complex problem when it comes to the ownerless mines that are old, that had many shafts, and you say, shouldn't we get an appropriation from government? I would say yes.
Ramaphosa says Operation Prosper has seen tangible progress in the fight against illegal mining, with fewer incidents reported. Baba Londenze, Eyewitness News.
Acting Police Minister Firoz Kachalia is urging officers to do everything in their powers to find the killers of 3 people in Knysna, including former Mayor Aubrey Tsengwa. Kachalia visited the town yesterday and was briefed by SAPS on the progress of the investigations. 4 suspects are in custody and have been charged with conspiracy to murder Tsengwa. Here's the minister's spokesperson, Kamokhelo Mogotsi.
We must ensure that those responsible for these murders are brought to justice. My visit to these families was not only to convey my condolences, but to assure them that the state has a responsibility to pursue justice. We owe it to the families and the people of Knysna to ensure that these investigations receive the attention and resources they require.
The SIU says it secured acknowledgements of debt from 2 companies accused of overcharging the University of Fort Hare for student accommodation. The companies allegedly inflated accommodation costs by a combined 3.3 million rand. Equascent Eastern Cape Development was linked to an overcharge of over 300,000 rand, while Chongwane Trust allegedly overcharged the university by under 3 million rand. SIU spokesperson Selby Mahoto says Equascent has since settled its debt in full, while Chongwane Trust is continuing to make payments.
The SIU investigation revealed that the university engaged various service providers to lease and accommodate students. Upon analysis of the financial documents and lease contracts, the SIU established instances in which certain service providers were paid amounts exceeding those specified in the lease contracts. The service providers were contacted and findings were shared along with the letters of demand.
And
for service and devotion, you would think that I would deserve a fair promotion.
US presidents past and present have joined fans across the world to praise legendary country music singer Dolly Parton. Parton died at the age of 80. Her team has revealed that she passed away after a brief battle with cancer. Dolly became a household name with hits like Jolene in 1973 and sold more than 100 million records worldwide and wrote over 3,000 songs in a career that spanned 6 decades. George Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden and Donald Trump issued statements paying tribute to Parton for contributing to American culture. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. Temperatures are at lows of 4 and 9 degrees. They'll peak at highs between 26 and 27.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N12 West now between Craft Road and the Gilulis interchange due to a major accident. There's also queuing traffic as a result along the R24 West just as you approach the Gilulis turnoff. And then if you're traveling in Germiston, queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Yelans turnoff and the Geldenes interchange.
The top story this hour, the president says he supports the appropriation of funds to go towards the permanent closure of abandoned mines.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Play Powerball, Lotto, Daily Lotto, Match Play, and Instant Games. It's your chance to win big. Available at participating retailers, online, and on your banking app. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
Planning for retirement doesn't have to be overwhelming. Join PPS on the 19th of September for its annual Retirement Summit, featuring award-winning speakers, authors, journalists, and financial experts. So whether you're under 45 and focused on wealth accumulation, or over 45 and thinking about wealth preservation, there's a program for your life stage. Enjoy a meal, gain insights for your financial future. 2 generations, 1 shared goal. Greater financial freedom. At only 150 Rand per person, book now at pps.co.za/retirement summit. PPS, success is better shared. PPS is a licensed life insurer, controlling company, and authorized FSP.
It's a good thing you're naked on a run. Because what if you're halfway through a self-help audiobook about letting go and your phone takes it literally? With Naked, you can submit your phone claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get device insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. William here from Brits. Bongani, I think General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi lives rent-free in the criminal's head. Thank you. Bye.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani, I'm a Chiefs fan, and definitely Kaizer Chiefs live free in my head.
Hi, good morning, Bongani and the team. I would say Julius Mkhwanazi lives rent-free in a lot of people's head, especially the witnesses at Madlanga, Itumeleng from Crosby.
We're talking about those people or moments that live rent-free in your head. I want to know why. Tell us why you think that is the case. Perhaps 1 or 2 of these examples are pretty clear. I would have thought that, in fact, as a Chiefs fan, you would say something entirely different. I would have thought you would have said, as a Chiefs fan, Orlando Pirates lives rent-free in your head.
EWN Sport.
Anthony Teixeira, who lives rent-free in your head?
I would say Alan Donald.
Oh, and Lance Klusener.
Yep.
And
1999.
basically the whole of the Australian cricket team, every single cricket team they've ever put out, they live free. That has damaged me in a way that I cannot even begin to describe.
Well, the Bangladeshis
Yeah.
did us a favor recently. Of course, you're here for the world of sport. Please explain, before I get, shot at or thrown with rotten tomatoes, why do I think Pirates lives rent-free in the minds of Chiefs fans?
I mean, I would say because they're, of course, the defending Betway Premiership champions.
And what have they done?
They've gone and picked up another victory last night.
Which places them where?
Top of the table.
Ah.
Firmly top of the table. Although it is just 3 points, so could be close tonight. But yeah, they claimed a 2-0 victory over Sekhukhune United thanks to goals from Radupane and Apollos. The Buccaneers boss Abdeslam Wadu calling his opponents tactically sound.
We had the game that we expected, especially when you play 2 times in a row. Very rough game, very tough. The Sekhukhune have succeeded his task. They come to press us very high to prevent us from building. They know that it's how we create to get to the last third.
Sure. So we're going to play them 3 times in a row, essentially, right?
Yeah, because it's the 2 semi-finals of the MTN8, first and second leg, and then, of course, the league game last night. You've won 2 of the 3, so that's good at least.
Yeah, just imagine if they come back 2-0, eh?
Listen, it's going to be very edgy at the weekend. But last night, a first league victory for Durban City as they sunk Kruger United 2-0. TS Galaxy came from a goal down to beat Marimo Galants 3-2, 1-1 between Sewelele and Chipa. Mamelodi Sundowns women, meanwhile, beat Mozambican champions Costa do Sol 4-1 at the Kusafa CAF Champions League qualifiers, finishing top of their group, while selected Carabao results saw second half blitz for Leeds to a 2-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. Brentford hammered Birmingham City 6-1. West Ham won 4-1 over Southampton. In cricket, Sri Lanka start day 4 of the second tests against India, trailing by 238 runs. They are 8 wickets down in that first innings, though. While in rugby, the All Blacks survived a scare at Ellis Park. They found themselves 18 points adrift against the Lions with just over half an hour to go. They then turned up their attacking intent, which saw Ioane cross the white line twice, as well as Blackadder and Narawa for a 41-35 victory. Here's their coach, Dave Rennie.
You got to give credit to the Lions. They come to play tonight. They got off to the start. They got the crowd into the game, and 35-17, we were under a bit of heat. So I was really, really pleased with the composure and our ability to grind out that last sort of 30 minutes and finish in front.
They didn't walk away completely unscathed. There was an injury blow for the New Zealanders, with loose forward Anton Surgener being ruled out for the remainder of the tour after suffering an ankle injury. Boost for the Springboks, though. Rassie Erasmus confirmed that captain Siya Kolisi has recovered from that hamstring injury and will return to lead the side in the second rugby's greatest rivalry test in Cape Town.
Last week, maybe touch and go, and then Sunday when he did some rehab, he said now when he gets out of the ground, he still feels it a little bit, but we said, well, okay, you'll have to run full out Monday. And he did full out Monday and full out Tuesday without any discomfort, so he's good to go. And obviously, it's not just his game, he's a very inspirational person and a guy that means a lot for us on and off the field.
And in tennis, excitement on court at the US Open mixed doubles as Serena Williams won a first match since 2022. That was alongside Carlos Alcaraz. However, in the quarterfinals, they fell to Belinda Bencic as well as Flavio Cobolli. Top seeds Novak Djokovic and Arina Sabalenka dumped out in the first round of that competition. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Moving to a bigger office space can be expensive. Thanks to My Way Business Insurance, I get to save up to 20% on my insurance premiums every month. Plus, I get My Business Assist, which helps me with marketing, legal, and admin services. Saving money while growing my business is a great win for me.
Switch to My Way Business Insurance and save up to 20% on your monthly premiums. Real businesses, real savings. Call us on 0860 646464 today for a quote. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
You're a homeowner, but your house owns you? Home ownership should be about more than owning a house. The team at SA Home Loans believes that you should own the life you want. Switch today for a better deal. The passionate specialists at SA Home Loans are ready to make it happen. To find out more, visit sahomeloans.com or call 0860 246 810. It's time to start owning the life you want. SA Home Loans is a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You send us an answer based on anything you heard in the show that piqued your interest, and for that you'll win 1,000 Rand. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
My name is Yawang Andlovu. I can't wait to play the Whiz Quiz with Uncle Bongani. And if I win, I would like to buy myself an iPhone.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN.
Well, we can't wait to play with Siyabonga too. He wants to buy an iPhone. All of that to come. This Eyewitness News traffic in the meantime, though, brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. All right, so I've got Joseph on the line. He's on his way to Kagiso, he tells us, and he's got some news for us. Amo, Joseph, good morning. Talk to us. What's going on?
Hi, Bongani. How are you?
I'm good, Joseph. Go ahead.
I'm good. Bongani, just about 30 minutes ago when I was driving to work in Menreef Road from Kagiso to Randfontein, there's a township called 2 and 3. It would seem like a protest has just started there. They barricaded the road. They put burning tires. I literally turned away and then used Azadville Road. And then there's no way that you can go Randfontein Road from Kagiso. And by the look of things, it's going to be the whole day. So please warn the listeners that they mustn't use that road. They must avoid it at all costs. Thank you, Bongani.
All right, Joseph, did you get safely to where you were going?
Yes, I'm already in Randfontein. I'm 5 minutes away from work.
All right, good man. Thank you for talking to us and telling us that. We always say you are our eyes and ears wherever you are around Gauteng, so that's definitely a hot spot. You're seeing the same on your map, Amu?
I am indeed, Bongani. Heavy traffic volumes around Menreef, the R41 road, so please be on the lookout there. Try to avoid this route at all costs. We'll give you alternative routes coming up shortly, but now we've got an accident also reported on the R21 South heading towards Atlas Road. Delays coming out of Pomona Road. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 and the R24 West between Edinburgh Road and the Kilulis interchange due to an earlier accident. We'll have more updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever excuses for being late, number 95. I had load shedding and couldn't charge my phone, so I didn't have an alarm. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer in the FSP.
Do you ever call you like to sell, but don't trust your uncle or your pal? Then we buy cars, it's just for you. Buying cars is what we do. We offer service with a smile. We always go the extra mile. Use a place that you trust and sell your car to us.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Today, we are speaking to Old Mutual's Chief Executive of Group Social Investments, Ndumiso Zulu, to talk about the work they're doing to help build a better South Africa. That's just before 9 on 702 Breakfast. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, we speak to Dr. Glenda Gray about the unfreezing of crucial research. when it comes to HIV and tuberculosis. But in the meantime, Siyabonga wants 10,000 Rand in the Whiz Quiz because he says he wants to buy an iPhone. And Siyabonga, what are you going to do with your iPhone?
I'm just going to use it.
You're just going to use it. You just want to have it, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's in your hands. Well, let's see if we can help you towards your dream of winning that, or at least getting that iPhone. KG, start the clock. True or false? Venus is the planet that orbits closest to the Earth.
False.
It's true. How many main colors are used in the South African national flag? 6 or 5?
6.
Correct. Complete the saying, where there's smoke, there's what?
There's fire.
Correct. What word do we use to describe a group of ants? Is it a heap or is it a colony?
A colony.
Correct. In which month is Workers' Day celebrated in South Africa?
Come back.
May. What sport is a tour called the greatest rivalry? Is it rugby or cricket?
Rugby.
Correct. True or false? Penguins can fly.
False.
Correct. What is 42 minus 3?
39.
Correct. What is the capital of Nigeria? Abuja or Lagos?
Lagos.
It's Abuja. Spell the word project.
Project.
Project is what we were looking for there, but it's not quite in time. A credible score, Siyabonga, nonetheless. 600 Rand is what we can donate towards your iPhone purchase. The rest, I'm afraid, the parentals will have to supply. We play the Whiz Quiz every day. You must be aged 10 to 13 to play. Go to Prime Media Plus, tell us why you want to play, and we could be calling you.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
702.
The Africa Report.
Onto this now. It came as a shock out of nowhere. For almost a year and a half, scientists working on some of the world's biggest health challenges have been dealing with a major blow. The United States National Institutes of Health banned funding research, particularly in South Africa. There's been a reversal now, and that reopens the door to research collaborations after the freeze disrupted HIV and tuberculosis projects. We know, of course, a lot of this research has impact on the rest of the continent as well. So we've invited Dr. Glenda Gray, who is the director of the Infectious Diseases and Oncology Research Unit at the University of Witwatersrand. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning, Bongani.
All right, just put it into context. Firstly, how big a deal was the freezing of this funding, and how good is the reversal?
It's a big deal because South Africa is pivotal for answering the big questions in TB and HIV. And by cutting South Africa out of the equation and not doing research here means you delay these answers for everybody, for Africa and for the United States, where this can also impact on U.S. health security. So by not doing this work in South Africa, you can't answer these questions quickly, and therefore the whole world suffers.
How much funding were we talking about?
We estimate about R1 billion worth of funding comes into South Africa through the NIH, and this is related to clinical trials, particularly in HIV and TB vaccines, as well as critical research infrastructure for laboratory science and the follow-up of cohorts of people. So a lot of money does come in and to answer critical questions.
Gosh, R1 billion isn't chump change, is it? All right, so how disruptive was the freeze? I mean, I would imagine, for example, if you'd already started clinical trials, you had people in those trials, did you have to go back as scientists to them and say, oopsie daisy, and now how do you try again, as it were?
So it was disruptive. We weren't allowed to continue in new enrollments, so we were allowed to continue to follow up participants that were already in our studies for safety reasons. We had to retrain a lot of staff. So a lot of doctors, nurses, drivers, counsellors lost their jobs. And some of the doctors we had to put on to 80% time. So this had financial repercussions on the whole research ecosystem, from your driver right to your doctor.
So, I mean, can we just sort of press the button once again? I would imagine many of those scientists particularly have moved on. I mean, how much of the momentum has been lost? And I would imagine infrastructure some of this might take years to rebuild.
So that is true, but I think we want to pivot quickly. So we also have to show we can be responsive. And so it's very important for us to start these trials as quickly as possible. So we are rushing to reopen the studies, getting the ethics committees and our regulator, SAPA, to review and or take these protocols that were on hold back and activate them. So it's important for us because this is important to answer these questions, to get back into the game and to be able to contribute. This will also help us to employ our people that we lost during the time when the time we had to retrench people. It's hard to get jobs, particularly at the same time USAID funding was also cut. So lots and lots of people in this sector lost their jobs.
This is about science specifically. This is not traditional foreign aid, if you will. How do you make sure that even as you try to get back on your feet, that this kind of collaboration will be protected from future political decisions?
We have to continue to make the case how our work and research done in South Africa benefits American health, how the U.S. citizen benefits from the work that we do here. And as long as we make that case, because obviously it's America first, if we can make the case that whatever work you do here, we can do it faster and cheaper than anywhere else in the world, and it'll benefit U.S. citizens as well as benefiting people in South Africa and across the globe. So it's critical to make that kind of business case that science can be answered quickly here and cheaply.
South Africa has started developing, I would imagine, alternative funding mechanisms because, of course, we found ourselves here. Does that, in fact, then sort of help us that we have different streams where we might be getting some of this money?
It definitely helps us. So South Africa obviously understood the importance of the medical research infrastructure we had built, particularly because we were able to quickly pivot during COVID because of the infrastructure. So the government did put money aside for relief funding together with the Gates Foundation and Wellcome. And this money is critical because it helped for relief in the 1.5 years, but now can open up other channels. This money that's available can now be used for additional research, so it'll make us flourish even further.
All right, so how soon can we get back to where we were before all of this?
Well, we're racing because we want to open up these studies this year in this country. We had to, in the last 6 months, we've been exploring doing these studies in Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Malawi. And so it allows us to reconcentrate our efforts back into South Africa and at the same time as supporting other countries to do research, but also making sure that we can contribute to these global endeavors.
All right, appreciate your time. Dr. Glenda Gray is the Director of the Infectious Diseases and Oncology Research Unit at the University of the Witwatersrand.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview will come up a little later on, but as we go to Eyewitness News at 7 o'clock, I just wanted to remind you, or at least play you this. It's an interesting thought. The yesterday news, of course, coming out that Dolly Parton, the singer-songwriter, has passed away. But before she did, she recorded a song in 2015. And she said it's a song that is not going to be released until the year 2025. And she wants to leave something behind for those that will come after. It's an interesting idea. Have a listen to how she explains it.
You have a secret song locked away in Dollywood that will be released in 2045.
That's the truth. No, seriously, when we do a lot of things at Dollywood, and one year we thought about that. They asked me if I would write a song that nobody would ever hear. I'll be dead, gone. Well, I might not be, because I'll be 99. You know me. I might,
yeah, you can do it.
I might still be hopping
Yeah,
around.
you'll be there. I think
you'll be there. Anyway, I wrote a song, and I put it in the box to be open, and I even put, like at that time, there was CD player and the ways and saying what we were doing with our music at that time, left all the instructions, and here's how you can play this.
No.
I swear. And so I don't know what they'll do with it, but I have regretted that because it was a really good song. And, I'm serious.
Should have released that song.
I keep wanting them to let me dig it up and put something else in it that's not as good. But,
yeah. 2045, we'll see the
if
song.
any of you are around, around when they open that box. Well, I hope you enjoyed my song.
There you go.
If you could leave something for the future, for your children, perhaps for your family, something that would be a gift for them long after you are gone, what would it be? Imagine a video recording of yourself with a message to your kids, telling them about all the little things that you love most about them, from their voice to your memories of their first steps, their first words. Wouldn't it have so much more meaning if they were to hear it for the first time 20 years after you're gone? There's a thought. Time now for the latest eyewitness news, brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. After the news, of course, we speak to Safa.
This is EWN.
The president has been put on the spotlight over anti-illegal migrant unrest, and Feroz Kachalia comes to the defense of the acting police minister. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa has vowed there will be arrests for those who instigated unrest over the presence of undocumented migrants in the country. EFF leader Julius Malema yesterday told Ramaphosa that the failure to take action against those responsible gives the impression the violence was state-sanctioned. Answering questions in the National Assembly yesterday, Ramaphosa could not offer a timeline for arrest, as Malema challenged that many of those behind the campaign are already well known. Lindsay Dentlinka has more.
President Ramaphosa says authorities are not ruling out that outside forces may have played a role in fueling the anti-immigration uprising. He claimed countries whose nationals have been impacted by the mass repatriations tend to agree.
Those we perceive to be outsiders who want to disturb the stability in South Africa by getting South Africans to seem to be at war with Africans from other nations.
But EFF leader Julius Malema was unhappy with the pace of the clampdown on those driving the Afrophobic sentiment and demanded arrests and prosecutions.
What is even worse, the two of them came to meet with you. You should have locked them up that day when they came to meet you.
Ramaphosa says the migration issue is sensitive and complex, and South Africa is being closely watched as to how it responds. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Acting Police Minister Feroz Kachalia says Puleng Dimpane has an untainted record and was never mixed up in any tender fraud. Kachalia defended the Acting National Police Commissioner yesterday while responding to questions from members of the National Council of Provinces. He says Dimpane played no role in the awarding of a multi-million rand contract to alleged crime kingpin Vusmuzi Matlala's company Medicare 24. Babalondenze has more.
Feroz Kachalia faced several questions from NCOP delegates yesterday about Puleng Dimpane and whether she had the required security clearance. Kachalia says Dimpane's security clearance is valid until 2029. He also distanced Dimpane from any involvement in the cancelled tender that was awarded to Medicare 24, which is also the subject of evidence before the Madlanga Commission.
And I once again want to emphasize that it was General Dimpane's independence of mind, her professionalism, and the fact that she has an untainted record of public service, which were among the considerations that influenced the decision of the president.
Kachalia said it was Dimpane who made sure irregular expenditure was reported in financial statements and instituted the inquiry into Medicare 24, which resulted in the tender's cancellation. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
At the same time, the Madlanga Commission has rejected Matlala's claim that his relationship with the boss of the so-called Big Five cartel, Jotham Msibi, was just business. The accused criminal kingpin has been testifying on links to several people implicated at the commission. He's so far spoken about his friendship with alleged fraudster Hangwani Maumela and dealings with Msibi and taxi boss Steve Mutsumi. Khumosomodise has more.
At the start of his testimony, Vusmuzi Matlala testified that he only had a professional relationship with the late Jotham Msibi as he provided security services for him through his company, Cat VIP Protection Services. But he also said Msibi called him son and had asked for advice from him on where to buy a Rolex watch for his wife. Evidence leaders also presented WhatsApp messages between Matala and Msibi showing proof of payments documents shared and talks about payments to Hangwani Maumela. It was on this basis that Commissioner Sesi Baloyi questioned Matala's description of their relationship.
Yes, Commissioner, I just didn't say that. I also said most of the time I will go be with him, and then he even called me a son, but he was not my friend. That's what I said. But I said also that I didn't have any businesses with him except for him rendering services for him.
Matala's testimony continues this morning. Komzo Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And
Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can.
some of the greatest voices in music and entertainment have joined fans across the world in paying tribute to Dolly Parton. The legendary US country singer and entrepreneur died yesterday after a brief battle with cancer. Parton was 80 years old. Taylor Swift has described the music icon as eternally generous, while Beyoncé says Dolly Parton was bold and brilliant. Sir Paul McCartney has called her a magnificent star, while Elton John has hailed Parton as a giant of an artist with the kindest heart. Her fans have also paid tribute in the US.
She was a huge influence in this country, I would say. Almost everybody, I don't think anybody has really something bad to say about Dolly. She did a lot for, the country and the community.
I like how she carried herself, and she was a classy woman and also faith-based.
My mom and father were big country music fans, would visit the Grand Ole Opry quite frequently, and so, Dolly Parton's an icon of country music. So I grew up with her and appreciated her music.
Gold is trading at $4,658.87 an ounce. The rand is at $15.94 to the dollar, $21.75 to the pound, $18.61 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $86.22 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R21 South Kempton Park. That's due to an accident reported along this route. Please be on the lookout, particularly coming out of Pomona Road. And then, of course, do remember that we've got a protest activity reported in Randfontein along Main Reef Road. And I'm seeing delays along Randfontein Road as a result. Please try to avoid.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates sink Sekhukhune United for a second time this week, while Durban City and TS Galaxy have recorded their first Betway Premiership victories. All Blacks clean sweep the URC sides as Springboks return of captain Siya Kolisi at the weekend, and Serena Williams-Carlos Alcaraz partnership lost just 2 matches.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg and Pretoria are both at lows of 9 degrees, peaking at 27 for Vereniging, 4 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa has vowed there will be arrests for those who instigated unrest over the presence of undocumented migrants in the country.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit EWN.co.za or download the EWN app.
To save money, you stock up on 2-for-1 vitamin specials at the pharmacy. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an OUTsurance car insurance quote like 48-year-old Adam, who saves
1,803 Rand. Big drop. It's worth going to OUTsurance.
That's an awesome 1,803 Rand saving on Adam's 2020 Audi Q3. Why wait? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. OUTsurance saves 36-year-old Jill 471 Rand on her 2025 Hyundai i20.
471 Rand. I still can't believe it. Get OUTsurance. Extra pampering money.
Enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. Get a quote to switch and save with OUTsurance today. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insured FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
702 proudly presents the Dina Letty stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2026.
We're gonna have some fun. You guys ready?
This is Jazz Reignited.
Jazz.
Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.
You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock, the world in mourning, the music world, certainly the great Dolly Parton has passed away. What a phenomenal artist, what a phenomenal musician. And I think she leaves behind a legacy, not only because of the music, but also a legacy of giving, right? A legacy of giving. I told you about the house that Whitney built, which of course is this office complex she bought in a less fashionable part of Nashville, predominantly black area, where she decided to have her business headquartered. She started Dollywood, which was a theme park, which really was essentially about creating jobs for other people. She had every opportunity to just take the money and laugh all the way to the bank, but she continued being that person who would give and give and give and give. Here she is in a 2014 Entertainment Weekly interview talking about the song that Whitney Houston made famous, I Will Always Love You. And she says she's pretty sure it will be played at her funeral.
First time I heard I Will Always Love You on the radio was similar to the first time I heard myself sing my very first record when I was 10 years old. But I was driving home from my office in Nashville. I had the radio on, of course, and all of a sudden I heard this, If I Should Stay. I thought, that's my song. And when Whitney started singing the I Will Always Love You chorus, I mean, it hit me so hard. I had to pull over the side of the road because I wanted to hear the rest of the record, but I was also afraid I was going to wreck because it was such an overwhelming feeling. Someone singing that great on something that I wrote, and it just really got me. And when Whitney passed away, when they played I Will Always Love You, when they was holding her coffin, I remember that so well, and it just touched me so deep, you know, that she had done such a beautiful job on that, and that they played it then. I thought, well, I bet they'll play that same song when I go.
What an artist, what a songbook, what a career. Now, talking about millions and laughing all the way to the bank, let me bring you up to speed with some of the occurrences at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday. Vusumuzi Kat Matlala in the witness stand, not quite remembering specific transactions. We're talking millions of payments, millions of rands in payments. And he says, oh, this was so ordinary to him when he was asked to remember, what was that 2 million about? What was that 3 million about? And he says, well, it's not really that big a deal to me. I'm used to these transactions all the time. I can't just remember a random 3 million rand.
I'm seeing 3 million or 4 million that it will make me to remember. I've made a lot of transactions more than this. So, which are mine. So this is not my transaction even. So to remember it, if it was something which is the first time seeing 3 million, I will say, oh, that is the first time seeing someone sending 2 million to someone else, but it's not the first time. So it's not something that is a highlight in my life, seeing someone sending someone 2 million rands. So I need to have a reason why I should remember this, but I honestly can't. This is not something that I'm not hiding anything.
What's the biggest amount transaction that's ever gone through your account that a 3 million there, 2 million there would make you not really remember? Commissioner Sesi Baloyi, of course, was not convinced and challenged Matlala's claim that he couldn't remember.
I'll offer you a reason why you should remember.
Yes.
At page 122, you say to Mr. Msibi, on the same day, it's the same day of those payments, you say, this one is the account Morgan sent to deposit money into. So on that day, you, Mr. Msibi and Mr. Maumela are discussing monies and payments of monies. That should jog your memory, what it was about. But even that 122, you say, I don't remember it. I'm prepared to accept that you deal with big numbers, and so 3 million would not shock you. It would shock me. I would absolutely remember because I don't deal with those kind of numbers. But I accept that you say you deal with big numbers, so it's unfair maybe to expect you to remember.
Right? And he still insisted, no, but I do this all the time. So don't ask me to remember transactions about millions of rands. doesn't that give you a real window into the kinds of monies that were siphoned off these tenders, with all sorts of players behind the strings benefiting from money that should have been for the public good?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Political parties and independent candidates have until Friday at 5 o'clock to submit all candidate nominations. After the deadline, no changes will be allowed. And the 31st of August is the deadline for couples whose customary marriages have not been registered. You are urged, of course, to do so. You can't just presume a customary marriage has been registered because lobola has been paid. You've got to make sure that that has been registered. And, of course, tributes continue to pour following the death of the country music legend Dolly Parton.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN.
16 after 7, let's look at the roads. Amo, what are you seeing at this hour? Issues on the R21 South. You told us about a crash there, I think.
Yeah, that's correct, Bongani. It happened right near Atlas Road. It's causing heavy delays towards the airport, so please try to avoid this route. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Kiluli's interchange. An earlier accident is causing these issues while heading towards Fourways. Do expect delays on the N1 North between the Beyers-Naudé Drive exit and Winnie Mandela Drive. I'll have more updates. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Ah, shame. Do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it. Andalex, a proud sponsor of The Masked Singer Season 3.
So the other day I get this call from an insurance company. They asked if they could quote me. I said, quote me? I can't remember what I said. But if you're still thinking about it, it must have been pretty good. Mom always said I have a way with words. They just put down the phone. I don't get it.
Don't get that insurance. Get Pineapple. It's easy to get and online. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
I then took 13 million rand and I gave to SAFA. And I can tell you now, that's where I can't do more as the minister. I wrote SAFA a letter where I said they should return my money. And SAFA asked for 21 days grace. I am just as angry. Because what more can I do? I asked them in a letter, bring back my money, the money of the state. Because I am responsible for it. They said they will act within 20. Because for me, there was no action. We were supposed to have had VAR. So people shouldn't look at me. I'm the minister that put it on the table.
I'm the minister that put it on the table. The pressure is mounting on the South African Football Association, this time questions being asked in Parliament. The association was grilled over the Bafana visa fiasco, the money spent on VAR, and as you heard there from Minister Gayton McKenzie, he wants the money back. Things got even more awkward when SAFA President Danny Jordan failed to appear. The CEO, Lydia Munyapao, faced tough questions over executive salaries, including what former Bafana coach Hugo Bruce was paid. So what's really going on the inside? Who should take responsibility? Does the organization have a leadership and governance problem? We're joined now by South African Football Association Cape Town President Bennett Bailey. A very good morning to you and thank you for your time this morning.
Hi, good morning.
SAFA is often caught offside, hey?
Yes, it looks like it. We've been on the wrong side yesterday for I don't know how many hours. We finished after 11 the evening.
Goodness me. All right, let's start with what's happening in Parliament. What's your view of what happened in Parliament as far as SAFA's representation is concerned? And why was Danny Jordaan not there to account?
I think Danny Jordaan need to speak for Danny Jordaan himself. I don't know. There was an apology. And I was not in the know as to the apology in itself. I've heard that in Parliament. If you followed, you must have picked up that I was not invited by the CEO or by the President, as he said that he will finalize the delegation. I was not part of that delegation in itself. So I was also surprised, like everybody, that he's not there. That there's an apology for him, so he can answer for himself.
Sure. I mean, look, we don't want to play the man but the ball here, but it does matter when you've got the highest official in the organization not there to answer questions that members of parliament want to ask. It's not a good reflection on SAFA.
Yeah, I agree. And I must say that, I mean, in any situation, and that is how I lead SAFA Cape Town like that. If there's even difficult situations, just the other day, I led a delegation with the city of Cape Town, and it was a tough meeting. But that is what leaders must do. If you want to take the credit, you must also take the other side as well.
All right, let's talk about the clip I played before we started our conversation. Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, saying he'd given SAFA 13 million rand. In fact, as I understand it, the sum is even more significant than that. And he says he wants the VAR money back.
Yes, we also heard yesterday in Parliament about the 21 days as a National Executive member. Obviously, I cannot speak on behalf of SAFA. SAFA can speak on behalf of themselves. But like the public itself, I've also heard for the first time about the 21 days. And I can tell you, as an executive member and as the SAFA Cape Town president, I know that the National Executive was briefed in May, where a preferred service provider was appointed. A committee was also appointed, led by the Finance Committee Chair, to implement those things. And now we're about to enter September, and the league have started, the PSL league have started, and there's still no VAR. And I do agree and I accept with the minister if he says, pay back the money. If the money has not been used, pay it back.
In fact, SAFA's own statement, which was released yesterday, saying that this VAR project, 20 million rand was received from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. They're saying, of course, they've been conductive evaluations of the technology. They've been speaking to service providers, and they haven't yet reached a contract with any of them. That might explain some of the delays, and they've asked for this extension because they want to finalize all of that. You don't accept that explanation?
That is the explanation from, I'm not sure who drafted that, but if that's on the letterhead of SAFA, then SAFA must respond to that. I cannot respond to that.
I mean, let's go back to the World Cup. When you watched the World Cup preparations that were disrupted because some players and some officials didn't have visas, who should have been held accountable for that own goal?
Yes, I think it was a calculated mistake there. And I think with 2 or 3 days to go, the final squad was announced. And I think that maybe about inexperience sake, that they waited until the last moment. And we all know to apply for a visa, it takes time. So you cannot wait for the final squad. If I was the manager, from the word go, I would have registered everybody and applied for a visa. And as they fall out, that would not have had an effect on the application for visa. That is what I would have done. But in all this conventional wisdom, the manager thought it fit to wait for the final squad.
Should heads have rolled around something like that?
I'm going to reserve my comment, but the record is clear in the emergency committee.
Why are you reserving your
opinion.
Comment? Hold on, why are you reserving? You're a senior.
No,
Bennett, come on now.
Why
would you reserve your comment?
If you just go to the minute of the emergency committee, I've expressed a very strong opinion about what should have been done.
So express it now.
I'm not going to do that one. Like I said, I'm speaking as the SAFA Cape Town president, and I'm saying that when you go to that minute, you will find my position on it.
I guess, I mean, you're on the show. You've agreed to give us this interview.
Yeah.
There's no point if you're going to be reticent when you come on, because you have a role to play within SAFA. You represent a significant stakeholder as far as the organization is concerned, and all of these things are being done essentially in your name. As members of SAFA, people won't necessarily note the difference between Bennett Bailey's view and what is being done through SAFA, so that's why we asked you to come on.
No, people know the difference. They know the difference. So I suggest you do that one, because I've expressed a very strong opinion what should have been done. But I think that it was just the inexperienceness of the person or the person and persons concerned, because remember, this is not a one-man show or a one-manager show. There's a whole office, there's a whole entourage with him. And remember, he didn't go there alone as a management team. I think it was just inexperienceness of the team.
Let's talk about Hugo Bruce and his salary. We are now understanding that he was earning as much as 1.4 million rand a month. There are questions, of course, about what his replacement will earn. Shouldn't that whole process be a lot more transparent to the public?
It will be very difficult. How do you determine in the public space someone's salary? It must be the people concerned who should do that. And I think that SAFA is handling that part right, and it should continue like it. But there should also be fairness. And when you make a decision on someone's salary, you should have all the information. And I want to emphasize all the information available to make a decision. And I think that SAFA must go back to the drawing board. I would strongly recommend that. Now that all the information is available, let's go back to the drawing board.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Bennett Bailey, the South African Football Association Cape Town president.
As a business owner, you're always looking for ways to save money. But have you looked at saving on your business insurance premium? With Outsurance Business Insurance, you could save big, like Bosmansdam High School.
We were with our previous insurance for 10 years plus before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We are saving 3,705 Rand per month.
It was so quick and easy, we should have switched sooner.
Ready to switch and save? Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Tio for a great cause at the University of the Western Cape's annual Johannesburg Golf Day, Friday, 11 September 2026 at Copperleaf Golf Estate. Gather your four-ball for a fantastic day of golf, networking and giving back while helping transform the futures of UWC students. For more information and to book your spot, visit uwcac.za. Playing with purpose, partnering for impact, transforming futures.
At Crawford International, confidence is built every day. We're encouraged to find our voice, think independently, and lead with courage, integrity, and compassion. In the classroom, on the sports field, and beyond, we learn to step forward, embrace opportunity, and make a meaningful difference. Book your personalized tour and experience Crawford International for yourself. Crawford International, building global leaders.
EWN Business.
Business news now. Let's talk Northern Platinum. They're entertaining possible takeover deals, Mateo.
Yeah, shares at Northern Platinum went up more than 11% in trading yesterday after the miner said it was inviting potential suitors to a competitive bidding process. Now, this was after it received a voluntary offer for a transaction from an unnamed major South African platinum miner. South Africa's fourth largest platinum group metal miner said in a statement that it had recently been approached for potential unspecified asset level or corporate transaction. Northern said it is now inviting proposals on a range of potential transactions, including by the interested PGM producer, to pick the most favorable deal.
And tell me, GEMS placing Principal Officer Stan Mulwabi on precautionary suspension. I mean, this is the biggest medical aid in the country.
Yeah, the government employees medical scheme has placed its principal officer, Stan Molwabi, on precautionary suspension while an internal process takes place. James says the suspension is not a finding of wrongdoing. Chief Operating Officer Vuyo Qola will act as the principal officer. The move comes after months of tension over medical aid contribution increases. James kept its 2026 increase at 9.5% after the regulator rejected a proposed cut to 7.5%. Public sector unions have criticized the increase and questioned Gems management.
Your indicators?
Well, looking at the markets, a better day for the JSE, up 116 points, just shaving that positive territory yesterday. Banking stocks up more than 1%, lifting the local JSE. Industrials were lower, with mining shares down 0.5%. Sasol was down 6% as that oil price drops. Valterra down 5%. Canal Plus down 4.7%, but Tungela down 2.8%. Alpha Min was up more than 3%. Northam announcing those proposals up more than 3% yesterday. Standard Bank up 2%, with ABSA enjoying gains of 1.7%. The rand at this hour, 15 rand 93 against the US dollar, 18 rand 58 cents against the euro, and 21 rand 71 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,643 an ounce, while platinum is up marginally at $1,873. Brent crude up 0.5% this morning, $86.57 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go. Fiso Zulu, bring us up to speed with the latest from that Reger Park case.
Well, Bongani, good morning. The men accused of being behind the shooting of 4 people in Reger Park are hoping CCTV footage will help secure their release on bail. Regan Collis, Jamal Meyer and Elvino Crawford returned to the Boksburg Magistrates Court yesterday. Collis and Meyer claim the video shows them inside a yard before the shooting and that they only went to the scene after the gunshots. They have been arrested in connection with the shooting of 2 police officers and 2 women in the area earlier this month. Mongezi Koko reports.
The state argues that bail applications are urgent in nature and that oral evidence is admissible during these proceedings. It used this to oppose the defence's bid to have the CCTV footage played in court at this stage of the case. The state was, however, prepared to proceed with the bail application without viewing the video, despite opposing the men's release. But their lawyer Samkele Kuzani argued that the footage could provide crucial context about what happened on the day of the shooting.
I find it to be very prudent that those videos be played in court, and those video footage would outline what had materialized, the event of what had happened.
The court has now agreed to view the footage before making a decision on the men's bail application. Judgment is expected on the 8th of September. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Questions remain as to why the Hawks waited more than 4 years to charge a prominent Durban businessman with human trafficking. The 65-year-old appeared alongside his co-accused in the Durban Magistrates Court yesterday for their bail applications. The man's name came up during a recent testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Tabiso Koba has more.
In March 2022, the Hawks burst into a house in Durban North and rescued a group of young women suspected to have been human trafficked. The 65-year-old businessman told the court yesterday that he was detained with handcuffs on the day of the rescue. He says the police told him they would be back in 3 days to arrest him and formally charge him, but they never returned. After some time, he regarded the matter as finalized. However, on the 11th of August 2026, more than 4 years after the alleged offense took place, he was arrested and charged. The businessman believes this was a ploy for the police to confiscate his phone after his name came up at the Madlanga Commission. The bail application continues today. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The reopened inquest into the death of Steve Biko could turn the spotlight on former apartheid spy Craig Williamson, with the late activist's family seeking to have him subpoenaed. Williamson was a senior figure in the regime's security apparatus and gave evidence at the reopened Cradock 4 inquest. The family argues his evidence there is significant as he admitted that Biko had been placed under surveillance. The current proceedings before the Gqeberha High Court seek to determine whether anyone should face prosecution over the Black Consciousness Movement leader's 1977 death in police custody. Koskona Malingamnisi reports.
Steve Biko's family says key questions remain unanswered, including the extent of surveillance against the anti-apartheid activist and what security forces knew before his death. At once, former apartheid spy Craig Williamson called to testify on these issues. The family also believes Biko's wife Nontsikelelo could shed further light on the surveillance operation. She was also targeted by apartheid security police and is expected to testify. But family lawyer Ngringo Sakela says more time is needed to prepare Biko's widow.
There were informants. There was a proper surveillance to his life. So that information is not in any of the previous inquests, even in the TRC record. We need that evidence to be placed before you. And Mrs. Biko is going to help us to place that part of evidence before you.
The family only secured legal representation after the Justice Department committed to fund its case on Monday. Or see Kona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News in the Eastern Cape.
And at least 14 children have been killed in a fire at a hospital in Pakistan. The blaze ripped through the third floor of the facility in the capital, Islamabad, this morning. The cause of the blaze has not been disclosed. Fires in large buildings are frequent in Pakistan, often due to poor safety laws and building codes and poor enforcement. Earlier this year, more than 65 people were killed in a shopping centre fire in the port city of Karachi. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 4 and 9 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 27.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N14 East. This is in Centurion between the R55 and Brackfontein interchange. There's also queuing traffic reported on the R21 North leaving Tembisa. This is due to an accident right after Olifantsfontein Road, causing delays.
The top story this hour. The men accused of being behind the shooting of 4 people in Recha Park are hoping CCTV footage will help secure their release on bail.
It's a good thing you're naked while reversing out the driveway, because what if that sound you hoped was part of the song definitely wasn't? With Naked, you can submit your accident claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium, because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Elevate your flying experience with Lyft Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort, and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, and complimentary lounge access. Visit lyft.co.za today.
You'll drive 20 extra minutes, walk past 3 competitors, ignore every special sign, just to get to your place, your bakery, your bookshop, your car wash, your family restaurant. Because loyalty doesn't always choose the closest, it chooses the best. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Rewarding the local businesses and entrepreneurs that have earned that place in your life. The businesses that deliver every time and keep you coming back for more. Go to primemediaplus.com now to view the awards categories and nominate the business that's earned your loyalty. Because if they're worth the drive, they're worth the nomination. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Less admin, more time for what you love. Yoko, let's grow on 702 and primemediaplus.com. 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa is brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted telecom business connectivity. Powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
Good morning, Bongani and the 702 listeners. TK here. This SAFA president for Cape Town, he is very evasive. He's avoiding answering questions. So I don't see the purpose or the need of him coming onto the national radio and agreeing to the interview and then being evasive in answering the questions.
Good morning, Bongani. I think that this issue of SAFA and Danny Jordan needs to be sorted. We cannot continue with a leadership that does not account. And I'm also wondering why the regions continue voting for Danny Jordan to return for unending terms. Even Bennett there on your interview, he's scared to speak.
Morning, Mr. Bongani. If it was according to me, please cut this interview with this Mr. Bennett, because he comes to the show just to waste the time, just to waste our time. He's saying absolutely nothing.
Morning, Bongani. Pule from Joburg. I tell you, my brother, you just wasted your time by inviting this Bennett guy. He's just as baseless, useless as it comes. But what I know is that Danny Jordan's time has come.
Good morning, Bongani. Eben Flora East. Listening to Bennett Bailey. I don't know what it is, but I just don't trust him. And from my point of view, how can you support an organization that has people like this? The way that he speaks, maybe it's embedded in their culture. I think we should just do away with SAFA. What are they really doing for us?
Morning, Bongani. I know. Hey, man, I don't know what it's going to take, man. I don't know what it's going to take to get that old man off that SAFA presidency role. Danny Jordan, he really needs to go, man.
So, three things, quickly. Sometimes, all I can do is ask a question, get a response, and you, 702 Land, decide what you think of the quality of the response from the questions that have been asked. Sometimes it is not my job to catch out a person we are interviewing. You make up your own mind, right? You then think about Danny Jordan and all the issues that have arisen around him over the very many years. And your first instinct is to say, whose nudes does he have that they can't get rid of him? Right? Who does he have information on that it just seems SAFA is unable to ditch him? And then you get someone like Bennett Bailey. And then you think, hang on, what if Danny Jordan is the best they actually have? Here you are. You represent a region of the association. You are clearly not happy with how things are being handled. You've gone on the record. That's what he said. I've gone on the record where I have said, I've expressed very strong views. So this is already known to the organization. Why won't you say it on the radio when you've agreed to come on the radio? So maybe Danny Jordan has been there all these years because he might just be the best they've got. And that's not a whole lot.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, then 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now. Today's answer comes from Dominique, who is in Centurion. Dominique, please give us today's answer.
Hey, so today's answer is 80.
Yeah, you can predict what that answer will lead us to. Dominique, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I do.
Oh, here's 2,000 Rand. Here's 1,000 Rand. I beg your pardon, 1,000 Rand in cash. All thanks to Outsurance and 702 for that answer. There you have it. Dominique says the answer is 80. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Didn't take 80 days, Anthony Teixeira, for this to happen. Just 3, and it'll happen again in 3 days' time.
Yeah. Of course, you're talking about the week of Sekhukhune United, Orlando Pirates showdown. Like you mentioned, that was a second game, and it was Orlando Pirates who walked away with all 3 points in the Betway Premiership. Goals midway through either half saw the Buccaneers register a 2-0 victory and move top of the table, while TS Galaxy have a first league win of their own. They held on for a 3-2 win over Marimo Gallants, 1-1 between Siwelele and Chipa, while Kruger United rooted to the foot of the table as they fell 2-0 to Durban City. 3 wins from their 3 group games for Mamelodi Sundowns women at the CAF Champions League qualifying tournament. They wrapped it up with a 4-1 victory over Costa do Sol, while in England, a selected round 3 Carabao Cup results, a 6-1 win for Brentford over Birmingham, a 2-0 Leeds win at Nottingham Forest. West Ham beat Southampton 4-1. Bruno Fernandes won the PFA Player of the Year award. The Man United captain broke the record for the most assists in a single Premier League campaign with 21. Meanwhile, Man City defender Nico O'Reilly was named the Young Player of the Year, having become a regular at the Etihad with 8 goal involvements and 9 clean sheets. In rugby, the Lions ran out of gas in that second half against the All Blacks at Ellis Park in the last of the rugby's greatest rivalry tour matches against the URC sides. They gave up an 18-point lead to lose 41-35. However, coach Ivan van Rooyen is choosing to see the positives from this outcome.
Yeah, immensely proud. We knew we were a little bit undercooked, especially with repeated effort and collision. Probably only would have started next week or 2 weeks from now with that. Our biggest focus was to test ourselves with tempo, because we know the All Blacks want to play there, and how can we play our game and try and force it upon them. So to be in the fight for 77 minutes, if I can call it that, just a proud moment. I actually liked the feeling in the change room where we felt we let it slip.
In tennis, Serena Williams and Carlos Alcaraz's US Open mixed doubles lasted just 2 matches. They stumbled at the quarterfinal stage but showed moments of brilliance together. Playful sides other players did come out in this far less competitive atmosphere.
I started thinking that we can play better, and we were having fun and just have fun instead of being so focused, I think.
The same for you?
Same for me. I mean, I'm playing next to the one and only Serena Williams, so what else I can do? Just trying to do, the things she told me to do.
Do you listen to Serena?
Obviously, 100%.
Does he listen, Serena?
Yes, he does.
And in cycling today, Pogacar sped to a solo effort 39-second win at the Volta Spanger's 4th stage. He leads by 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
13 to 8, let's look at the roads. More those issues in Kagiso, Randfontein. We got a call about that a little earlier on. How's it looking now?
That's correct, Bongani. We still have delays along several roads within the area, particularly Main Reef Road, Randfontein Road, as well as the N14 East. So if you are traveling within these areas, Kagiso as well as Randfontein, please try to avoid Main Reef Road at all costs. It's heavily backed up due to the protest activities within the area. Then heading towards the city of Tshwane via the N14 East, we've got an accident right near Cedar Road causing delays. There's also queuing traffic heading towards the city of Tshwane via the R21 through the Tembisa area. This is causing delays coming out of Olifantsfontein Road. That accident happened about an hour ago, and there's this 20-minute hold-up as a result of the scene. Please try to use the N1 North through Midrand rather if you don't want to be stuck on that backlog. And then if you are heading towards Bedford View, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 80, let's go to, is it Joel in Walkerville? Joel, what's the question?
How old was the legendary Dolly Parton when she died at the age of 80?
Yeah, I mean, isn't it? She was just one of those artists that had always been around. I would have thought she was a little older than that. But yeah, yesterday we were just remembering the passing of the singer Aaliyah. And then later, of course, in the day, the news emerged. Dolly Parton is no longer with us. Joel, you walk away with 2,000 Rand, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. This is probably the song that I heard the most from Dolly Parton growing up, and it's just as touching as it was then.
But it's too late to love me now. It's too bad. You say you need me, and it's too bad. I know the feeling, and it's so sad.
And it's too late to love me now. Oh, it's too late to love me now.
Don't you know how hard I tried to hold out just for you? Loving you from memory day by day. Then someone came into my life, turned my dreams around. He's taking all the love you threw away. It's too late. You say you love me, and it's too late. Once my love for you was so great, but it's too late to love me now. It's too late to love me now. Don't you know how hard I tried to hold out just for you? Loving you from memory day by day. Then someone came into my life, turned my world around. He's taking all the love you threw away.
Yep, we certainly lost one of the greats. Who's that artist or celebrity or well-known person whose passing really shook you? I can't say I'm shaken by Dolly Parton's passing. I'm not really even sad. She was 80. She just had a good innings, she had a good life, and she made a difference with it. It's a life she lived well. But every now and again, somebody comes along whose passing just really shakes our world. May she rest in peace.
To save money, you keep items in your online cart until the price drops. So why not spend 10 minutes getting an Outsurance car insurance quote, like 50-year-old Lawrence, who saves
309 Rand. I accepted the quote. Didn't shop around, didn't need to. Click, click, ring, ring.
That's a sweet 309 Rand saving on Lawrence's 2025 Volkswagen T-Cross. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance saves 37-year-old Lerato a jaw-dropping 599 Rand on her 2026 Kia Sonet.
$5.99. Very easy. Outsurance, they are the best.
Enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you are. How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insured FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Play Powerball, Lotto, Daily Lotto, Match Play, and Instant Games. It's your chance to win big. Available at participating retailers, online, and on your banking app. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizakai.
Need a last-minute gift? Checker 6060 will bring the toy aisle to you. Hot Wheels bands and Lego trends. Let's go 6060. Marvel minis and other figurines. Let's go 6060. All the Barbies and the plushies. Let's go 6060. Fisher Price and all things nice. Let's go 6060. Whatever they love, whatever their age, Checker 6060 will deliver today. Let's go 6060.
It's a good thing you're naked when pulling into a petrol station. Because what if the pedal you just stamped on wasn't the brake? With Naked, you can submit your accident claim instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive car insurance at a lower premium. Because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Now for the world of viral content, Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
First video was really, really heartbreaking for me. Just looking at this kid and his matric dance woes.
And I mean, he's not the first kid to do this, where you are asking for help and donations for your matric dance. So it was a video taken by Vuiswa Sigonyela, and the youngster is standing at a traffic light. He's in his school uniform. He's got grey pants on, and he's got a white jersey on, and his tie, and he looks very smart. And the sign he's holding up says, matric dance donations, my number, and he gives the phone number, and then he's got a heart that is drawn with tears coming down the heart. And the guy who took the video, basically says to the youngster, is it okay? Can I film you? You don't mind? And the guy says, no, that's fine. And then you hear a doot-doot, a hoot. And this guy then approaches the car that hooted, which is a blue Ford Ranger, and you can't really see what happens, but you kind of get a glimpse of the youngster's reaction after he has interacted with this car, and people reacted to the reaction as well, and they're saying, this guy, he's hooted at him, telling him to get out of the way, you can't believe it, so insensitive, blah, blah, blah. But he gave him such a big donation that he was overcome with emotion, and this was explained on another video by somebody who interviewed the young man. So a lot of people have been touched by the video. Other people have been saying, well, why doesn't he focus on saving the money for his studies next year, for tertiary, etc., etc.? So many mixed views, but the overwhelming majority of people wanting to help, wanting to supply him with a suit, wanting to supply him with photos, you name it, whatever you want, people have come on board wanting to assist the young man, which is very, very lovely to see. But I think, matric dances, we've seen various examples, Bongles. We've seen at certain schools, people rocking up in luxurious cars, over the top kind of stuff. And, that's fine. Good for you. If you have the means and all that kind of stuff, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. But in other circumstances where maybe there's not a lot of money around, etc., should there be such a, when it comes to matric dances, should there be, I don't know, should people be rocking up in tuxes and wonderful evening dresses? And it can put a lot of pressure on individuals and the families of these individuals. Now, I don't know the backstory of this young man. He might have not even gone to his parents and said, I'm going to do it myself because my parents don't have the means. So it's such an interesting one about how do you handle the matric dances? Do you say at the end of the day, if it's a lesser school in terms of means, come in your school uniform? I don't know how you handle it, but it's an interesting one. And parents can spend a fortune on matric dances.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a rite of passage, right? And there are so many now, actually, for youngsters these days. There are also cultural things to consider, for example, if you are somebody who subscribes to those, and they all cost tons and tons of money. In fact, I now know Imikiti, which is the coming-of-age ceremonies for young men in the Eastern Cape. Some of the things people put together, Kabazela, that can cost much more. I mean, considerably more than even a wedding. The matric dances are the same. You've got to think about the car. Often, particularly if you're the girl, there's a whole lot more that goes into the dress and the hair and the makeup and the nails. And then there are all kinds of debates about if a boy is asking the girl, who foots that girl's bill when it's not her matric dance? And maybe let's put it out there for parents. What are the do's and don'ts for matric dances these days? Did you attend your matric dance? Was money an issue? How did it all turn out? And should it all be so extravagant?
702
Feedback
with Siamtanda Matiso.
Siamtanda Matiso, there you were in a glittering golden ball gown.
Not. I didn't go as well. My mom had financial challenges, and she sat me down and told me the situation at home. And I decided, nope, it's not going to work, because she was already forking out a lot of money when it comes to excursions, the jacket, the matric dye. So it was just a lot. And I realized we still need to rent a car. There's the hair, there's the shoes, there's the designing the dress, there's the finding the right designer for the. Do you get me? But also, what was amazing about me was that my friends were also going through the same situation, so I didn't feel that much like the FOMO that I would feel if they didn't go.
I remember I demanded a suit. It was give me that suit or I will die.
I realized that if I had gone, though, I would have struggled going to university, because where was I going to get everything that
but also
I needed?
I never wore that suit ever again.
Oh, wow. See?
When was I going to wear a suit as a student?
I get. Wow, I was giving you the look.
When was I going to wear a suit as a student?
Your graduation, go to class wearing your suit.
It's many years later, graduation.
3 years later.
Like, really?
No.
Maybe he gained weight.
Sunday for church.
Amo is one of those people who has all these comments to say with no context.
Anyways, to the show. Many have paid tributes to the late Dolly Parton. Some saying actually she introduced them to country music, and I realized she is that person who introduced many of us. I don't think we'll be able to listen to Beyonce's latest album if a person like Dolly didn't introduce us to the genre. But also she stayed out of controversy, so it's one of those things where you're like, she was just a lovable person.
And she was a lot smarter than people gave her credit for. And there's one or two interviewers who received the sharp end of her tongue when they thought they could be cheeky with her. I'll explain all of that coming up. Right now, though, it's time for the latest Eyewitness News.
This is EWN.
The EFF to table no confidence motion in Speaker Thoko Didiza, and the state promises to reveal Bra Mogotsi's alleged escape plan. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza will today face her first motion of no confidence as the leader of Parliament. She has been accused by the EFF of not being impartial or acting in Parliament's best interests in the way she's handled legal matters related to President Cyril Ramaphosa's impeachment inquiry. It's the first time a motion of no confidence is being debated against a speaker in more than a decade. Lindsay Dentlinka reports.
Speaker Thoko Didiza earned the EFF's ire in June when she decided not to oppose a court application by President Ramaphosa seeking to interdict the impeachment proceedings against him. The EFF claims Didiza was dishonest about the independent legal opinion she received and that she didn't follow through on the advice she was given to defend the matter. Today's sitting will be entirely virtual, despite the EFF's appeals for a physical sitting. EFF MP Ompile Mautwe says this will likely disadvantage the vote.
It's very rare that you'll go against the party line. I would have loved it to be physical and even more be a secret ballot.
Despite lobbying parties to support the vote, Mautwe says even if the vote does not go the party's way, their dissatisfaction in Didiza would have been registered. In 2014, then Speaker Baleka Mbete survived a motion of no confidence after opposition parties also accused her of shielding former President Jacob Zuma. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Evidence leaders at the Madlanga Commission are set to shift their focus this morning to a new topic as the testimony of accused criminal kingpin Vusmuzi Cat Matlala enters a fourth day. Matlala has been fielding questions about his links to controversial people in the taxi industry who are also alleged to be part of the so-called Big Five crime cartel. He's also been pushed to shed lights on his relationship with alleged fraudster Hangwani Maumela. Khumutso Modise has more.
During his testimony yesterday, Vusmuzi Cat Matlala was questioned about his relations with taxi bosses Jotham Msibi and Steve Mutsumi, as well as businessman Hangwani Maumela. Matlala drew a direct link between Maumela and Msibi, claiming to have introduced Msibi, who considered him a son, to Maumela.
He will know him as because he called me my son's friend.
So you're saying it's in that context that there was an exchange of 4 million to his son's friend?
I said I do not know what was that payment for. I don't know that.
But after claiming to have no knowledge of payments between the two and then claiming to be reminded of transactions of up to 4 million rand, Matlala struggled to explain why he was sending Msibi proof of payments and making reference to bank accounts where Maumela says his money should be deposited. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
The NPA says it plans on releasing a report on Bra Mokhosi's alleged plot to escape from prison. The self-proclaimed political fixer's third bail bid was expected to be heard in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court yesterday. The matter was postponed to next Tuesday after the state could not produce a report from the correctional services proving Mokhosi's alleged plan to break free. Demakatso Leshoro reports.
The investigating officer told the court through his affidavit that he received a call from a Colonel Masenya from Johannesburg Correctional Services that Bra Mokhosi planned to disguise himself in correctional official uniform and walk out of the Johannesburg Magistrates Court cells. Alfred Urendal says the head of Medium B section at the Johannesburg prison was then alerted. Mokhosi, who was already in a police van to be transported to court, was removed from the vehicle and leg irons were placed on his legs. Officials also increased surveillance at the court precinct. Mokhosi has been in prison since his arrest in May after he could not secure bail for providing false addresses. Prosecutors say they had no intention of opposing his release on bail until he lied about his addresses. The bail hearing continues next week. Demakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
And
Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can.
some of the greatest voices in music and entertainment have joined fans across the world in paying tribute to Dolly Parton. The legendary country singer and entrepreneur died yesterday after a brief battle with cancer. Parton was 80 years old. Taylor Swift has described the music icon as eternally generous, while Beyonce says Dolly Parton was the barometer, bold and brilliant. Sir Paul McCartney called her a magnificent star, and Elton John has hailed Parton as a giant of an artist with the kindest of hearts. And fans have also paid their tributes in the US.
She was a huge influence in this country, I would say. Almost everybody, I don't think anybody has really something bad to say about Dolly. She did a lot for, the country and the community.
I like how she carried herself, and she was a classy woman and also faith-based.
My mom and father were big country music fans, would visit the Grand Ole Opry quite frequently, and so, Dolly Parton's an icon of country music. So I grew up with her and appreciated her music.
Gold is trading at $4,658.87 an ounce. The rand is at $15.94 to the dollar, $21.75 to the pound, $18.61 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $86.75 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 North between Boysons Road and Carr Street. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South. That's due to an accident reported right after the Crown turnoff. It's causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. And traveling in the Kagiso Azadville area as well as Krugersdorp, do expect heavy delays along the R25. This is due to a protest that's taking place in the area. Please try to avoid Main Reef Road is also backed up as a result of the action.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates moved top of the Betway Premiership table after a victory over Sekhukhune United. Bruno Fernandes named PFA Player of the Year, and Sundowns women into the semi-finals of the Kusafa Champions League qualifiers with an unbeaten group stage.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza will today face her first motion of no confidence as the Leader of Parliament.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. Your neighborhood, your street, your home. Your local government election coverage lives on 702 Cape Talk and ewn.co.za. Download the EWN app.
This is 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX. Built on trusted connectivity, powered by cloud, strengthened by security, enabled by AI.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Day 4 on the witness stand for Vusumuzi Matlala. He's been, of course, fielding questions about his links to all sorts of controversial people, millions moving here, millions moving there. He, of course, insists that not all of this was a big deal. I was used to moving millions. What's the fuss? I can't be expected to remember every single transaction. And yesterday, things got quite heated between the evidence leader, Mahlape Silo, and Matlala's lawyer, Annelien van der Heever, who kept interrupting, who kept trying to weigh in, and advocate Mahlape Silo was having none of it.
Chair, I hear my learned friend's address to you. I submit it's absolutely irrelevant. I've posed the question to the witness, and the witness will answer my question. If Advocate van der Heever is interested in what I intend to have for lunch, it's a conversation we will have outside. She's not going to preempt my line of questioning. Only if we get to a point where she says, I have failed to do so, then I suggest that she's got no basis to be interrupting my examination of the witness. So, if you will, I've posed the question to the witness. I would like the witness to answer.
Simple as that. Of course, van der Heever responded yesterday asking the basis, the factual basis of the line of questioning. More of the same today as Matlala enters day 4 in, or at least on, the witness stand.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Kabazela's video, and it's heartbreaking because some people elected to not go to the matric dance because of their family's financial circumstance. How do you deal with it today? It's such a rite of passage. It's the thing that has been building up as the reward, if you will, for the hard work, especially right at the end. But if there's no money, do you let your child go to the traffic light with a little, note saying donations, please, matric farewell? I was one of those parents who was uncomfortable even with just the raffle, right? You know that raffle they make you fill in and people go to their colleagues at work and they say, give us, $20 here. My son could win. My daughter could win. Even that. I objected to it because I think you're teaching children to go around asking people for money. That was my objection. Dumelo, you're in Mondio. You spotted 2 girls at the traffic lights asking for donations. Give us the context.
That's correct, Bongani. That was last week, Tuesday, as I was taking my walks. And then I realized there's 2 girls who have those placards. And I'm thinking, what are they doing there? As I approached them, the other one was standing on the opposite side. And I spoke to this one. It was all about donations for matric dance. Luckily, I still had my daughter's dress and my daughter's shoes. And then I asked, how can I help? She said, no, anything is fine. She wants to go to matric dance. I said, you know what? I don't stay far. Actually, I was just a kilometer away from home. I said to her, if you don't mind, let's go take them right now. And I couldn't leave the other one behind. I had to go with both of them. As we were walking, I wanted to know exactly, because in my senses, I wouldn't do that. Like, I just wanted to know where do they get that courage to stand on the traffic lights and ask for donations? They said, no, it was one teacher who actually not told them to do, but advised them that they can do that. And then I asked this other one but because you're saying your parents aren't, they don't afford, why don't you just opt to stay home? And then she said, you know what, Mommy, at first I thought I'm not going to go. That's why we are only doing this now. At first I thought I'm not going to do it, but the peer pressure that we get from other friends, it's something that you want to do because you only get one chance to do it. And I said, yeah, no, that's very true because
Dumelo, I think we
get home.
Yeah?
As we get home, what actually it was painful. This other one, luckily the dress, I gave her the dress, and then the dress was like it fitting on her. But the tears on this, the eyes on this other one, I just couldn't give one and leave the other one. Because you could see the other one on the eyes. It's painful. It's painful. You could see that she actually wanted to cry, but I only had one dress. So you can see what does this thing mean to those kids. In my own opinion, I would say, why can't we just takeaway with this matric dance because it really affects this kids.
All right, Dumelo in Mondio. She was able to help at least one of the girls with a dress. Should we do it? Should we, do away with it entirely because of the pressure it places? I mean, that's the argument for school uniforms. We say that would put undue pressure on families, particularly those who can't afford to kit up their kids in the fanciest labels and fanciest clothes. Why do we allow this when it comes to the matric dance? Mateo?
I think matric dances have become a grand ball, right? But I lived and went to matric at a time where it was fun getting those donations because you'd go as friends, you'd dance and whatever at a mall, or you'd get odd jobs at a retail store to raise the money. It was a fun thing to go to. You work your way up to the funds to go to the matric dance. Whether you're getting a great jacket from your uncle or somebody else is sponsoring the shoes, it was something that we saw as the final dance, right?
So do something fun like the rag race.
All sorts of things, yes.
Put on makeup, put on a clown suit, juggle something.
Whatever
entertain.
Works. Your kids, whatever works.
But that's so much better than just standing there with a sheet of paper saying, give me, give me, give me.
I guess. But, it's a thing you remember that, remember we did that to try and raise the money and we threw a little event at school or whatever the case might be. This is a thing to remember. But these days, of course, kids arrive in Ferraris and the pressure's too great.
Ugh.
But, we lived in an era where you all got a taxi, all 14 of you are in the thing having fun on your way to a matric dance. It wasn't a matter of showing up in a German.
Try and tell the girl now that you're going to come in a taxi.
Exactly.
So
that's the pressure.
Listen, I want to hear from parents. How are you navigating the expenses that have to do with matric dances? I really need to take notes because, gosh, it's around the corner for me, isn't it?
Hey, Bongs. I'm Nashem. I saw it as a trial run for when she's getting married. Usisi. She was wanting this and wanting that. I've got 2 boys before her. The boys were a breeze. Usisi. I saw it as a trial run, just a glimpse when she's getting married, how it's going to be and how much it's going to cost. I forked out a lot of money. My daughter was happy and I was happy. Would do it again.
Morning, Bongs. With regards to matric dance, I didn't go to mine because I had asked my parents to get me a laptop in preparation for my university. So I had to make that sacrifice not to go there so that I can get a laptop in my subsequent year when I was in varsity, which I still have even now. It's been over 19 years, the laptop is still there. Thank you guys, have a lovely day.
Morning, Bongani and Kabazela. I think for me, back in the days, like 2006, when I was in matric, I just told my parents, my grandmother and my mother, that I'm not going to go, I'm not going to participate. And the reason was just knowing the situation at home and not wanting to put the pressure on them. So I basically told them I don't like it and I'm not going to go. Not that I liked it, but I just, yeah.
Hi, morning team. Honestly, I'm not a parent, but from my previous experiences, there is absolutely no point in spending a lot of money on a matric dance because it's about 4 hours of your life. I'm one of those people that would advocate that if somebody else, as a gentleman, asked you to go to a matric dance, then you should hire a dress or go to YDE and buy the most simplest outfit, because it doesn't make sense that you're spending about close to 3,000 up for a dress that you're going to wear once. Thank you.
Morning, Kabazela, morning, Bongs. Go all out for your child with the matric dance. South Africa is a funny, very, very funny culture. If a person dies, we go all out. We will raise 150,000 rand within 3 days. But when a person is alive and they are celebrating their 12-year journey, walking out of school, we are going to find reasons why not to celebrate them. Is the money there? Is the money available? Do we come from a poor background? Bloody, blah, blah, blah. But if that child were to die today, I guarantee you 150,000 rand will come out of nowhere and they will bury that child. Why are we like that?
I don't know if you can compare a death and a matric dance. I don't know if we're together there. Bui in Randburg, what did you do?
Hi, Bongs. I didn't go to metric dance, and today I'm excelling in everything. So I think it's more of changing the way we teach our kids to understand the parents. So my mother taught me, she was a single mom, she taught me that, I will do my best as a mother. So I knew that my mother couldn't afford metric dance, but I excelled and I passed well. I went to my university, I've passed. Today I'm a power lifter for SA, I'm best. So I'm saying that parents should be able to communicate to their kids. Have an open communication with your kids.
It's hard though, Bui. If you're the doting mom or dad looking your kid in the eye, I mean, and also, when do you start the conversation? Do you start it at the beginning of the year, and so they watch everybody else get excited?
No, at a young age. At a young age of 5, you teach your son or you teach your daughter.
You don't know that at 5. You don't know, Bui, if your circumstances.
No,
you hope
you
your
will know.
circumstances. No, I don't think that's true for everyone. I think at the age of 5 or 6, you're hoping that things will improve. You're hoping that by the time they get to matric, you'll be in a better position. And so I don't know if that's a conversation you can anticipate that early.
No, you can anticipate. You teach them to understand your situation. If your mom is able to do for you, he will do it. She will do it, or your parents will do it. So if the child arrives in matric dance, they will know exactly how my parents have been raising me. It's not a matric dance issue. It's about the relationship the parents that we have with the kids. Let's teach them.
Right.
Let them understand us, especially in these tough times. It's going to be worse. Bongani. We need to teach our kids.
Bui says it's not about the matric dance, it's a parenting issue. Is it that simple?
I don't think so, because also you don't want to raise your child, even
We'll
if
always
you are
be poor.
struggling. Well, come
We'll
on.
never
Your
afford
child
it.
must show up to life thinking we don't have money at home, we can't afford anything. No.
Or we'll never.
Or we'll never. Imagine being in grade 8 and you already know that I'm not going to metric dance because my mother doesn't have the funds.
But to be fair, she's saying you teach your child to say, if we get there, then you must understand. Muteo, you're also shaking your head.
Nah, man. I think no. If it's possible to do, but tell them on the year. If you're having a hard time financially that year, yes. But you can't. I can't be talking to the
At the
room
beginning
at
of the year
6 now and saying, "Hey, mfana kungashuba in if you are come on."
Wait, even in matric at the beginning of the year,
you have to try. You have to try.
But at the beginning of the year, it makes sense because that's what most parents do. And at that time,
You should know.
You should know.
But
and
guys, I don't think we use our communities like we should these
Yeah.
days. People like to live individualistically. You could speak
I would
to
get
the
all the
team, would buy
uncles, I would
Lonabo
get all the
shoes.
aunties. I would be.
Mm.
Use your community.
But often we've already done that for last month's groceries and last week's
extreme situations.
rental. It's 21 after 8.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays in Bedford View. An accident reported right after the Kirulis interchanges causing heavy traffic volumes. The N3 North is also affected. Please be on the lookout there. If you're traveling in the Florida area, we've got another accident reported on the N1 North. It happened right near Abutina Sisulu Road. Delays from the Soweto Highway while traveling on the M1 South. There's another accident reported right at the Crown interchanges causing delays. Please approach with care. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance Pointsman can't help you remember your password hint, but they can get the traffic flowing smoothly so you get to the office in time to see IT. Real heroes in green and purple, easing congestion to make our lives easier, and they've been doing it for 21 years. It's just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Adam Gilchrist, the big story, of course, internationally in entertainment will be the passing of Dolly Parton.
Yeah, the tributes are extraordinary already. We know fans, musicians,
the whole industry, the film industry too, remembering Dolly Parton as a giant of an artist. She's died, we know, at the age of 80. Her publicist says she passed away after a brief battle with cancer, though I'm sure she had flagged up cancer before. But anyway, obviously hits like Jolene, 9 to 5, I Will Always Love You. It was her song, not Whitney's, but Whitney made her $10 million just from that one song sales alone. She had to postpone her Las Vegas residency, Dolly Parton. She sold 100 million records worldwide. She wrote over 3,000 songs in her career. She was such a force of nature. I think that's the thing why people loved her. And younger music fans loved her too. When she appeared at the Glastonbury Music Festival here in England, they were 18 to 25-year-olds who were queuing at the stage and dressing like Dolly. She had that amazing brassy look. Sir Elton John's called her unique and irreplaceable. Beyonce called her one of one. Oprah Winfrey says we're all better because she was here. Sir Paul McCartney says it's hard to imagine a world without Dolly Parton. And Taylor Swift just emphasizing how the generations have come together to love her. Taylor Swift talked about her great grit and grace all in one extraordinary person. Yeah, sad.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, of course, at 80, she had a really good innings. So her music will live on, of course. Now, this is this is out of a, I don't know, Robert Ludlum book or something. Cloak and dagger visit to Moscow by the head of CIA?
Now, why would the head of the CIA pitch up in the Russian capital unannounced, untrumpeted? It wasn't a high-level thing. All we know is that he flew in, with flight data proving this, he flew in on a large US military aircraft traveling from America via Latvia to Russia and then out again, Latvia, of course, being a member of NATO, so there's a certain sort of crossover thing there. So could the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, be voicing concerns about Russian drone activity? They've made all sorts of incursions into NATO territory with drones. Could he be encouraging Russia not to do business with Iran? Both of them don't really feel like his brief, or indeed arranging prisoner releases. Again, is that a CIA director kind of role? Nobody has said, neither Washington nor Moscow, why he was there, or indeed even confirmed who he met while he was there. He flew in, he flew out again, probably with about 3 hours. So speculation is rife, but as a former British military attaché to Moscow puts it, John Foreman is his name, he says this is about escalation management. That's why the head of the American spy agency essentially would go there. There's something up. And indeed, what the something up is the mystery.
Oh, gosh, like I said, it sounds like a Ludlum novel. Now, I was in Italy exactly this time last year ahead of my birthday, and I knew not to complain for service there. Tell me about this particular tourist.
Well, it's always apocryphal, isn't it? Don't send your soup back because the chef will spit in it. So here we have Clara, a tourist from Brazil, revealing all via social media, inevitably. She was on a trip to Italy. Were you in Romagna by any chance, Bongani? That's where Clara went.
I was in Napoli.
Ah, okay. So down the road from Romagna. Anyway, Clara ordered a plate of scrambled eggs. She says when they arrived, they were too runny. So she asked the waiter, could you ask them to be cooked a little bit more through? Back came the eggs again, still too raw and runny, she says. So she sent them back for a second time. For a third time, the eggs came back. Remember, we're only talking about scrambled eggs, for goodness sake. And again, she said, still sloppy, but she sort of had a stab at eating them and whatever. When she got the bill at the end of her meal, Clara saw clearly printed, not written in pencil, but clearly printed, no insalata, so no salad, molto cotte, as in well done, well cooked, but also these words printed on her bill, questa mi ha rotto il caso, bruci alla uova e sputacci dentro. Apologies for the pronunciation if it were awry there. But anyway, that translates as, this woman has pissed me off, burned the eggs and spit in them. A message to the chef. Complain if you dare. Yeah.
Oh, my word. I mean, I think one of the things, and I'm going to take this opportunity now to blow our horn, Adam, one of the things I think makes South Africa a great tourist destination is we usually are so grateful to have visitors. We'll bend over backwards. In countries like Italy, the impression I get is they don't really care. You're one of many, so not quite one of one, as Beyonce said, you're one of many, and so service isn't always top drawer, I'm afraid. My goodness.
Tourist posters. The tourists come to South Africa, no spitting in your eggs. I think that would be a thing.
Shame, poor thing. And I'm going to presume that's exactly what happened with her eggs. What was runny wasn't quite what she thought, was it? Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, 28 after 8, our final business update for the morning. Muteo Kharipe, Northern Platinum entertaining possible takeover deals.
Now, shares of Northern Platinum went up after the miner said it was inviting potential suitors to a competitive bidding process. The Johannesburg listed miner's shares surged as much as 11% on Tuesday after the announcement, triggering a short-term suspension in trading. The stock later shaved off those gains to about 5.3%, valuing the company at 122 billion rand. Now, South Africa's fourth largest platinum group metal miner said in a statement it had recently been approached for potential unspecified asset level or corporate transaction. Northern is the smallest of the four largest platinum miners in the country. That also includes Valterra Platinum, Sibanye Stillwater and Impala Platinum. Northern said it's now inviting proposals on a range of potential transactions, including by the interested PGM producer, to pick the most favorable.
Let's talk markets. Oil prices falling this morning.
Yeah, amid easing concerns about military conflict as the U.S. leans towards economic sanctions to pressure Iran instead of the bombing. International benchmark Brent crude futures for October delivery going down 2.6% to $86 a barrel, while the U.S. Texas intermediate futures for October dropped 2.5% to $80 a barrel. U.S. sanctions on Iran were less severe than anticipated. The shift away from military action also reducing the perceived risk to the Gulf supply. Pakistan, in the meantime, saying there is meaningful process and talks aimed at de-escalating and restoring navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, and that's seen the oil price go down this morning.
So what are your indicators at the moment?
The rand at 15 rand 93 against the US dollar, 18 rand 58 against the euro, 21 rand 71 cents against the British pound. Price of gold down this morning, $4,638 an ounce, or platinum is up more than 0.5% at $1,880. Brent crude up close to 1% at $86.84 a barrel. More business this afternoon.
8:30, your time check coming up in the next half an hour. Another corporate that cares. Swisa Zulu, what do you have?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. We begin with news just in. More than 200 million rand worth of cocaine has been seized in two separate interceptions at OR Tambo International Airport. Police and customs officials found a combined 334 kilograms of suspected cocaine hidden in travel suitcases and cargo boxes. The drugs were intercepted yesterday during an operation at the airport. No arrests have been made at this stage, with police now working to identify those responsible for importing and distributing the drugs. Police spokesperson Athlinda Mate.
The vigilance of our members at this strategic port of entry ought to be commended. On a monthly basis, we continue to intercept large quantities of drugs and disrupt the activities of drug mules. These successes send a strong message that we will not allow South Africa to be used as a transit point or market for illicit drugs. We will continue working with other law enforcement partners to detect, intercept, and dismantle drug trafficking networks.
The men accused of being behind the shooting of 4 people in Recha Park are hoping CCTV footage will help secure their release on bail. Regan Collis, Jamal Meyer and Alvino Crawford returned to the Boksburg Magistrates Court yesterday. Collis and Meyer claim the video shows them inside a yard before the shooting and that they only went to the scene after the gunshots. They have been arrested in connection with the shooting of 2 police officers and 2 women in the area earlier this month. Mongezi Koko reports. reports.
The state argues that bail applications are urgent in nature and that oral evidence is admissible during these proceedings. It used this to oppose the defense's bid to have the CCTV footage played in court at this stage of the case. The state was, however, prepared to proceed with the bail application without viewing the video, despite opposing the men's release. But their lawyer Samkele Khuzane argued that the footage could provide crucial context about what happened on the day of the shooting.
I find it to be very important that those videos be played in court, and those video footage would outline what had materialized at the event of what had happened.
The court has now agreed to view the footage before making a decision on the men's bail application. Judgment is expected on the 8th of September. Monke Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
Corruption Watch chairman Mavuso Msimang has warned against blaming undocumented foreign nationals for South Africa's crime problem. Msimang was speaking at a public forum on a fight against corruption and the state of the country's institutions yesterday. He says South Africa needs to look inward when confronting crime and governance challenges rather than blaming foreign nationals. Annelita Fandesa reports.
Corruption Watch chairman Mavuso Msimang described the practice of scapegoating the stranger as an old political trick that can shift attention away from the country's own institutional failures. Msimang says the focus instead be on understanding why criminality is able to flourish, including the weakness within law enforcement and other state institutions. He says South Africa must be willing to look at its own systems, leadership and governance and ask whether its institutions are doing enough to uphold the rule of law. The comments come amid growing political and public debate over illegal immigration and crime. Annelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And at least 14 children have been killed in a fire at a hospital in Pakistan. The blaze ripped through the third floor of the facility in the capital Islamabad this morning. The cause of the fire has not been disclosed. Fires in large buildings are frequent in Pakistan, often due to poor safety laws and building codes and poor enforcement. Earlier this year, more than 65 people were killed in a shopping centre fire in the port city of Karachi. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 27.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays in Krugersdorp along the R28 northbound after Robert Broom's Drive. This is due to roadworks. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South in Selby coming out of the Crown interchange. That's due to an accident.
The top story this hour, more than 200 million rand worth of cocaine has been seized in two separate interceptions at OR Tambo International Airport.
Your neighborhood, your street, your home. Your local government election coverage lives on 702 Cape Talk and EWN.co.za. Download the EWN app.
A bigger and better national lottery is here. Play Powerball, Lotto, Daily Lotto, Match Play, and Instant Games. It's your chance to win big. Available at participating retailers, online, and on your banking app. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisekhaya.
Every day, something shifts. A rate decision, a currency move, a headline that changes everything, until tomorrow's does. Change is constant, and for us, that's not a problem to manage. It's where opportunity lives. For 35 years, we've navigated it to seek out the best opportunities for you, wherever they may be. Change is opportunity. We're always ready to invest in it. 91, investing for a world of change. 91 is an authorized FSP.
This advert is paid for by the political party concerned.
I love my hometown, but for too long now, I look around and think we deserve better than this. The water goes off for days, the streets are falling apart, and things never get fixed. Look, I'm not asking for anything fancy. I just want basics to work. And I know they can work because I've seen it where the Democratic Alliance is in charge. I want our town to work for all. So in this election, I'm voting DA.
This advert was paid for by the political party concerned. You're listening to 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Brought to you by BCX. Technology that helps organizations move forward.
Hi, Bongani team. I am against matric dances because I've seen the kind of unnecessary pressure it places on parents and children, especially during such a crucial time where children need to get the right results, to get the right M score, to get into the qualifications they want to do, with parents needing to save for their university tuition and find the right accommodation and all of that, just set them up for tertiary. This is the last thing that needs to be a distraction or take away from the budgets. I've seen crazy things happen at these matric dances. Kids arriving in helicopters, girls with lace wigs worth 20 grand, girls wearing dresses from designers that even middle income earners can't afford for a wedding. So it's just getting out of control. If we must keep it, then let there be a standard look, jeans and a t-shirt, and that's it, because ultimately it's about that rite of passage, like you said, Mogani.
Good morning, guys. I also do not agree that at the age of 5 you start to teach your child or tell them that they would not have a matric dance. I do agree that as a parent, you make your children to understand that sometimes you can't have everything you want in life. There are times you're not going to have. There are times you're going to have. But then you're not talking about matric because you have 12 years when this child is born or when this child starts school. If you know at the age of 5 that come 12 years later or 5 plus 7, 7 years later, you will still not be able to offer the matric dance, then do something, save, speak to people or whatever.
Hi, Bongani and the crew. I think you guys are taking this lady's a comment out of context, the one who's speaking about the child being taught from 5 that it won't happen. It's not necessarily that. But you need to teach the child from that young to manage their expectations. They need to understand, to plan ahead, to understand things. If at grade 10, they have already seen that we are struggling, and at the beginning of the year in grade 12, I have already spoken about it and the situation hasn't changed, your child should have, that expectation and manage their expectations, that it might not be an extravagant a matric ball that they'll get to go to. They need to work within the means that we have. It is a parenting issue. It is something that needs to be taught to a child from a very young age so that you don't have issues 16, 18 years later.
Yeah, that would apply to anything. It would apply to school tours. It would apply to the kinds of lunches they have, the kind of parties they can have. I understand all of that and managing expectations based on the life that you have, right? You want to teach your children to live on a beer budget. To live a beer lifestyle if they have a beer budget, right? That's how that should work. But this is a unique once-in-a-lifetime moment. I rather prefer the way Mateo says we must tackle it. Get your community together. Get the aunties, get the uncles. Make it clear to everyone, hey, this is the project for the year. Where can we pitch in? Can she do jobs or little errands for you? Can she earn her way around it? Can he earn his way around? What do we do to make this great? Be part of a community of people that might assist if you as an individual might not be in that situation. That's possibly one way.
EWN Sport.
All right, Anthony Teixeira, let's talk about match day 4 of the Betway Premiership.
Yeah, more matches headed your way this evening. Kaizer Chiefs should be well rested, having not played at the weekend as they tackle Richards Bay. Mamelodi Sundowns look to shake off that MTN 8 semi-final loss to Golden Arrows as they host AmaZulu, while Arrows will look to build on that victory at home against Stellenbosch. All games, much like yesterday's, expected to kick off at 7:30. Last night, Orlando Pirates moved 3 points clear at the summits of the table as they picked up the victory, while for Durban City and TS Galaxy, they had wins as well as points shared between Siwalele and Chippa United. In England, West Ham, Brentford, Leeds, Hull, Ipswich and Wolves were among Tuesday night's third-round Carabao Cup winners. This evening's selected fixtures include 2025 winners Newcastle meeting West Brom, Spurs up against Charlton, and we do have Championship side Preston North End hosting Everton. Perfect group stage for Sundowns women at the CAF Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. They head into the semi-finals of the tournament where they're set to take on Gaborone United Thursday, While Man United announced the signing of Carlos Baleba from Brighton in a reported £70 million deal. He'll be joining Yuri Tillemans and Andre Santos as that new mixed midfield. While Nottingham Forest added Liam Delap as they agreed a £50 million deal for the striker with Chelsea. The All Blacks ended their greatest rivalry tour matches against the URC sides unblemished. The Lions went the way of the Stormers, Sharks and Bulls as they went down 41-33, while the Springboks will be using their day off today to make their way to Cape Town for the weekend's second test in that series. Head coach Rassie Erasmus fronted up to the media once again Tuesday, where he shouldered the blame for that 17-point loss at the weekend at Ellis Park.
I think sometimes we as coaches, when we win, players and coaches take all the credit a lot. But when we lose, sometimes the players get a lot of blame. But I think this game was very much a lot about decisions I made during the week, trying to change things up, maybe being too clever, and then making some subs at the wrong time. And maybe working out plans during the week, which we overanalyzed.
He's also confirmed that Captain Siya Kolisi made it through Monday's training unscathed and will be playing for them, while the US Open fan event will continue with the second day of the mixed doubles matches. Only 3 left to be played. Svitolina and Monfils take on Benecic and Koboli in the semi-final, as well as Muchova and Minschik up against Andreeva and Rublev. Meanwhile, South Africa's Lloyd Harris has a qualifying match for the main draw against Enrique Rocha. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
It's a good thing you're naked while doing the dishes, because what if water starts coming from somewhere that definitely isn't a tap? With Naked, you can request emergency plumbing assistance instantly on the app. Go to naked.insure now and get comprehensive home insurance at a lower premium, because when bad things happen, it's a good thing you're naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
There's important progress in health happening right here in South Africa. Local researchers are studying a promising TB vaccine candidate, M72, that could help prevent people from becoming seriously ill with the disease. At the same time, initiatives like Coach Mpilo are supporting men living with HIV, helping them overcome stigma and stay on treatment through peer support and private chat guidance. It's South African science, innovation and community leadership contributing to the future of global health, supported by the Gates Foundation for over 25 years, partners of human potential.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to all 702 listeners. Bongani, please tell Amo I said her earrings are beautiful. The woman wears stunning earrings. I really like them. Sebastian here from El Dorado Park. Guys, you have a great show. And also, Anthony, I like the shirt. Oh, the men in 702 are stepping up. Great show, guys. Bye.
EWN.
No doubt watching our YouTube feed. Amma always wears stunning earrings.
Thank you.
Most of the time. So, without too big a hit, try and wrap up this morning's traffic.
Well, we've got delays in the city of Tshwane, Bongani. This is along the R21 North approaching the Flying Saucer interchange. The N1 North out of the Flying Saucer is also backed up. If you're heading towards Midrand, delays on the N1 South approaching Olifantsfontein Road. In Krugersdorp, we've got that protest activity reported along Main Reef Road. Please try to avoid the N1 North experiencing delays between the Soweto Highway and Albertina Sisulu off-ramp. That's due to an accident. I'll have more updates right at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Your business needs an additional high-speed espresso grinder, but do you have the cash to fund it? Well, before you compromise on the core items your business needs, have you looked at savings on your business insurance? Switch to OutSurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium for restaurants, convenience stores, beauty salons, pharmacies, and all other businesses. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports. No more disconnected systems. No more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on iStratGo.com. iStratgo.com.
Jenny, it's the Crazy Store's birthday! What? Your budget flew away! No! 20% off everything! Who said that you can't sing? No! 20% off when you spend over 200 Rand! Your husband's running off with Anne! I said, it's the Crazy Store's birthday! 20% off everything! Okay, you don't have to shout.
It's the Crazy Store's birthday. Save 20% when you spend 200 Rand or more. T's and C's apply. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Now, is that sound music to your ears? This weekend, the 28th to the 30th of August, it's the Festival of Motoring. And it's powered by Westbank. Energy, excitement, adrenaline, all about motoring life at the Kyalami Grand Prix Festival. So the Festival of Motoring puts you at the heart of the action. Exhilarating track experience, performance cars, 4x4 adventures, handling experiences, and the sights and sounds of Kyalami. This isn't something you just watch. You need to come and experience it, whether you're a petrol head, just looking for your next car, chasing an adrenaline rush, or just an exciting day out. The Festival of Motoring brings cars, entertainment, food, and the motoring community in one place for 3 glorious days. It's powered by Westbank, as I say, at the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit, 28 to 30 August. Get your tickets now on Howler. Don't just hear about it. Be there in partnership with 702. Or, of course, you could win a pair of tickets if you WhatsApp us your name and the answer to this question: who powers the Festival of Motoring? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702 and we could be calling you.
702 proudly presents the Dina Letty stage at the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2026.
We're gonna have some fun. You guys ready?
This is Jazz Reignited.
Jazz.
Get your tickets at Ticketmaster. A bigger and better national lottery is here. Play Powerball, Lotto, Daily Lotto, Match Play, and Instant Games. It's your chance to win big. Available at participating retailers, online, and on your banking app. The National Lottery. More plays, more chances, more millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sisakai.
Looking to save money on your business insurance? Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Here's Niku from the Gas Mart.
I was my previous insurer for 9 years before switching to Outsurance Business Insurance. I'm very happy with my premiums at the moment. I wish we switched sooner to Outsurance Business Insurance.
Get a quote to switch and save today. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 0800 60,000. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, returns to the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit from 28 to 30 August. Experience thrilling track drives, supercars, drifting, 4x4 adventures, and the very latest in automotive innovation. Book your tickets now on Howler. The Festival of Motoring, where legacy meets innovation.
You'll drive 20 extra minutes, walk past 3 competitors, ignore every special sign, just to get to your place, your bakery, your bookshop, your car wash, your family restaurant. Because loyalty doesn't always choose the closest, it chooses the best. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Rewarding the local businesses and entrepreneurs that have earned that place in your life. The businesses that deliver every time and keep you coming back for more. Go to primemediaplus.com now to view the awards categories and nominate the business that's earned your loyalty. Because if they're worth the drive, They're worth the nomination. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702. Powered by Yoko. Less admin, more time for what you love. Yoko, let's grow on 702 and primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
My favorite part of the week, a Wednesday, and yet another corporate that cares. When you think of the word investment, what comes to mind? Hopefully, future returns, hopefully, even money. But what if investment was something worth much more? What if that investment could come back as changed lives and real stories of growth and opportunity? What if R1 billion went into supporting businesses, helped education, entrepreneurship, disaster relief, and employers and their employees everywhere? That's exactly the ethos behind Old Mutual's social investments. And in the studio with me is Ndumiso Zulu, the CEO for Group Social Investments and Old Mutual. A very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani. Thank you so much for having me.
You know this question. You're ready to answer it. Please tell me as we start the conversation, why is Old Mutual a corporate that cares?
No, thank you very much. I think as a start, for us, it starts from the recognition that says as a corporate, we exist and we survive on the business that we generate in the communities in which we operate. It therefore follows that for us to be prosperous and successful, the same needs to happen in those communities. That's why we invest in them. That's why our approach to social investment is not one of charity or donation. To your earlier point, it's one about investing, because that talks about long-term, that talks about sustainability, but also we care about the prosperity of South Africa in general and the communities in which we operate.
You are CEO of Group Social Investments. In my introduction, I painted a picture that we normally have about investment generally. Social investment is an entirely different thing.
100%. Not only is it entirely different, it was also nascent. I think it's something that we are all, and rightfully so, learning about, grappling with, innovating and changing as we go. As I mentioned previously, really CSI was about donations and charity and say, look at what we've done, and we move on to our real jobs. But what we've done now is to really integrate it into the core of our business strategy. So that the two actually move in tandem.
All right, tell me about the work of the Masisizane Fund.
100%. So Masisizane Fund is a not-for-profit company within the Greater Old Mutual Group. And what we focus on there is facilitating and supporting entrepreneurs to have access to finance, which we know is a big pain point for them. But more than that, also having them have access to the mechanisms and the support systems that make starting, running, or growing a business possible and sustainable, because money just solves one problem. How do I fund my business? The other question then becomes, how do I grow, sustain, and make my business successful? So our offering covers those two broad categories, because we've realized writing a check and walking away doesn't solve the problem. In our case in particular, because our target market is young people, it is women, it is people in the rural and township areas of our country, things like access to capital, things like having your own contribution to start a business are not there for obvious and very well known structural and socioeconomic reasons. So our role is to then play a catalytic part in moving those obstacles out of the way and giving people opportunity to participate in the economy.
All right. I mean, I want some strong examples of the kind of work that you've done. It's one thing, of course, to talk about you've supported over 400 SMEs, you've created over 13,000 jobs, R1 billion has been invested into all of this. But beyond those big numbers, impressive numbers nonetheless, what are some of the human stories you can share about the difference you are making?
Sure. So one example that jumps out to mind, a few years ago, probably close to 10 now, we were approached by a lady She was part of an enterprise development program in one of the leading private healthcare hospitals in the country, and the deal was for her to support them with linen for just one hospital to start with. And she came to us looking for funding support precisely because she didn't have her own contribution, but she was able, out of her own ingenuity, to secure this deal. We supported her with that funding, and today I can tell you she not only supports that one particular hospital, but she's now a supplier to the entire group. And that is the catalytic role we play in that particular entrepreneur's life. Incidentally, just last week, the head of our investments business visited a community in Mpumalanga that we partner with another organization in terms of the microfinancing access.
Yeah.
So these are very small business loans that can be as little as 3,000 Rand or 5,000 Rand as the case might be. And the report I got is that some of the ladies, and this particular program targets women entirely. There are no men in the spectrum. I asked them why. They told me that women tend to pay the money back better. So that's a topic for another day. And the report I got is that actually, on average, we've gone from people who borrow around 5,000 to 45,000. That says those micro businesses
are
growing. But also some of the ladies have been in that particular structure for almost 18 years. But what was particularly interesting for me is that in the beginning of the partnership, the average age was around 45, so of the ladies who participate in the program. That has dropped to now about 26. And I think that says a lot about where we find ourselves as a country. We know how our unemployment figures look, so more and more people are looking to entrepreneurship is an alternative to finding formal employment. That's why that average age has dropped so much, because that's where our young people are now headed to look for opportunities, which then just underpins the case for us to really double down on the work we've been doing in this particular space.
Well, I think from what you've outlined there, your efforts around social investment aren't just about the numbers. You can crunch those, and those that need to move up certainly are. Those that need to move down are doing that too. But ultimately, I think what's impressive beyond corporate statistics are the lives you are changing. And that's why Old Mutual is a corporate that cares.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
And one final bit of business as we leave. Let's go to the lines. Rivo in Pretoria. You want to win a pair of tickets to the Festival of Motoring this weekend? I've got a very simple question for you. Who powers the Festival of Motoring?
Hi, Bongani. It is Westbank.
Are you a petrol head? Do you love cars yourself?
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
You're going to be part of the Vroom Vroom this weekend. Congratulations, Rivo, a winner of a pair of tickets to this weekend's Festival of Motoring, happening from the 28th to the 30th of August. If you weren't lucky enough to win, you can get your tickets at Howler. And that's the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa, brought to you by BCX, connecting cloud, telecom business connectivity, AI, and more to help organizations reduce complexity, improve resilience, and unlock opportunities.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. We begin with breaking news. A police captain who was part of the investigation into the murder of former Knysna Mayor Aubrey Tsengwa has been shot dead. Officers say